Hypocrisy.
Okay, here we go. So here's the trial. And I have not watched all of this, but I have watched a couple segments of it, and we'll see. This judge is great. She's a gem. Fair and Balanced says, in your honest expert opinion, what is Alex Jones in an 8-5-3 world? Obviously, the 8 is for the salary. Don't kid yourself. Well, I mean, you can't think that Alex Jones takes so many of those pills that even if they don't naturally grow your penis, they have to just be weighted down at the end of the tip. So he's probably carrying a monster hog, just dragging it in the ground behind him like a wedding dress train. I don't know how tall Alex is. A friend of mine met him, was hanging out in the totally not gay picture where they're all just standing around shirtless in like the river in Austin, or in Lake Travis or something. He didn't look short though. He's 5 feet. How short is he? 5'8". He's 5'8". 5'7", 5'10", 5'11", 4'9". All of these are shorter than 6 feet, so it doesn't matter. Well, I no longer want to interview Alex Jones. So I want you to do a couple things as we watch through this. Keep your eyes on the judge. Oh, by the way, Farron signed that as Cobweb Queen. If I didn't mention that earlier. She's a cobweb queen. She should probably apply cream, 'cause a grout is really gross.
And while we're waiting to bring out the panel, as I try to remember to say every day, in accordance with judicial branch policy, only the specific individuals or entities who were authorized to record or photograph or video may do so. Anyone who does so without permission will have their device or devices confiscated and will be removed from the courtroom. So please make sure we abide by that rule. And also, if you haven't already done so,
confiscate my devices, Grandma Drudge.
Phones, or at least put them to vibrate. I've done that myself.
I 100% know you have set your phone to vibrate during a trial day.
Good morning. Good morning.
Where'd you store it though, lady? You got a pocket in those robes?
Welcome back, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Ron's handing out your notebooks. Please be seated. Make yourselves comfortable. Counsel stipulate that the entire panel has returned.
Yes, sir. I do.
Is this loud enough?
Right. And Ron, I asked, and there were no notes.
Because I can turn this up a little bit.
Jury conduct issues. And I'll just try to remind you every day, if and when something comes up, please make sure you follow that procedure. I want to thank you for your patience this morning. I know you were actually all here early, but we had some technical equipment issues that we had to deal with. But I guess it was a good day that you got your coffee machine in there. So
look at the dramatic zoom in on Alex.
All right, Attorney Maddie, whenever you're ready, please.
Thank you. And good morning. The plaintiff.
He just laughed at him being called Patty. Good job. So Patty is the plaintiff's attorney. Maddie, damn it. No, Patty, we're sticking with it. Patty is the plaintiff's attorney representing the families and the one FBI agent who is suing Alex as well.
Solemnly swear, sincerely affirm that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or upon penalty of perjury.
There are no closed captions available for this. Sorry.
And I just need you to state your name, slowly spelling your last name for the record and the town in which you live.
Starting with my last name?
No, just state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Alexander E. Jones, Jones.
I don't know what he looks off to, but
Austin, Texas.
He always kind of looks off to the.
Thank you.
Well, he's looking to God for guidance.
Jones get situated.
Thanks.
That globalist probably put something in the water right when he
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr.
adjusted
Jones,
the.
you're here pursuant to a subpoena today, is that correct?
Yes.
You were deposed in Connecticut earlier this year, and at that time, I arranged to have a subpoena served on you to assure that you would appear at this trial, correct?
I believe so.
And you could have come to this courtroom at any time since we've started if you wanted to, correct?
Yes.
Right. In fact, you know where the courthouse is because you've given press conferences right outside this courthouse yesterday and the day before, correct?
Yes.
But this is the first time you've been in the courtroom. Yes?
Yes.
This is the first time you've been under oath in this
Yes.
case, right? And you understand that the families that I represent brought this case against you about 4 years ago
Yes.
to seek justice from this jury for what you did to them, correct?
He's already treading on improper
You understand
grounds
that's why we're
here.
I understand they sued me. Yes.
And this is an important case. You understand that?
I mean, that's an opinion.
You don't think this is an important case? That's a yes or no, sir.
It's not, I don't really think it is a case. I don't think it is a case.
Okay. There's gonna be a lot of this today. And
Objection, Judge.
All right, so let's iron out.
This guy is such an insufferable pile of shit during this question. Spoiler alert. I'm not a fan of this attorney's strategy and tactics during this. So I'm going to be complaining a lot. Like I don't know what else to say. This judge is going to go, she is going to be on that you have to answer yes or no thing, which if you've watched other trials like here, it's like you ask the leading question, which is a yes or no question. But when the person decides to answer more, when they decide to make an answer that is more than just one word, like often they're allowed to. Watch how that goes today. It'll be just great.
Now, if you can answer the question with a yes or no, Mr. Jones, answer it with a yes or no. And if you don't know the answer, you can say don't know the answer. And of course, if there's an objection, you'll just wait for me to rule on the objection.
this is an important case, isn't it, Mr. Jones?
I think this is historic.
Mr. Jones, the judge just gave you an instruction
Objection.
to answer.
Objection. It's not your fucking job to admonish him. You talk to the judge about the answer that if you don't like it, that's what you do. You don't get to do
The
this.
question.
Objection, turn to court.
So I'll
Should we do it again?
do this. So the question, Mr. Jones, is it an important case? And the answers that you can give are yes, no, or I don't know.
Why is he limited
Yes.
to those three answers?
You can understand why it would be very important to the families I represent, correct?
Yes.
But it's also important to you, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you've been using this case as a marketing opportunity over the past couple of weeks, haven't you?
No.
Mr. Jones, you created a new website on Infowars.com called Kangaroo Court, just so your followers can watch this case, haven't you?
That's not a website.
What would you call a web page on Infowars.com?
It's a page.
Okay, page. Thank you for that correction.
He created Kangaroo Court on InfoWars specifically to watch this. That is you get to do this, by the way. So one of the things that I think is really pertinent here, Alex Jones is differently situated from 99.9% of defendants or any participants in a lawsuit. He's a very, very public person with a very, very public platform. And that public platform is critically important to his success after trial. In some ways, I mean, well, he's already lost, so now it's just damages. But if he can outdo the damages by convincing his audience that it's all fucking rigged and fake, and the judge does no favors to dissuade that idea. If he can do that, then who cares what the judgment is? I mean, the judgment becomes a business cost. And before anybody gets pissed off about that, judgments being a business cost is true of every business on earth. And the larger your business is, or the broader the reach of the business, the more that becomes true. I mean, it's just a reality. The bigger you are, the more you will get sued. And then those lawsuits have to be factored in. Your job is not to try and win every lawsuit. Most of them are pointless to even try. The claims are too low. It costs more to fight them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Your job is to absorb the impact of the lawsuit and then come out profitable on the back end. I've said back end so many times, I must be thinking about ass. Time to go to the grocery store.
There's a web page on Infowars.com that you've titled Kangaroo Court so that your followers can watch what's happening here, right?
Yes, that's my opinion.
Okay. And why don't we pull up actually Exhibit 504. This is just for the witness, please. Exhibit 504. There's a screen down there for you, Mr. Jones. See that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the Kangaroo Court page that you've had up and running?
Yes.
Okay. I'd offer it, Your Honor.
No objection.
And Alex is smart. He cannot shy away from this. Like, this is what he does. He knows
And
it. And he
here-
can. He has every right to do it.
You've been clipping testimony from.
Because Alex Jones would love nothing more than for the judge to try and censor his ability to label the court what he wants. That might win Alex Jones the case. If the judge were to issue an injunction, say you can't stream this trial to your followers and call it kangaroo court. You can't do that, blah, 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 blah. If she did that, that would be a very, very obvious prejudice, as if there isn't some pretty obvious prejudice going forward. Again, and when I talk about this, by the way, when I say obvious prejudice, the prejudice doesn't necessarily mean that Alex Jones is innocent or not. I mean, I tend to err on the side of free speech with most things. I have trouble finding out where the damages come for the families, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I have some issues with this particular civil suit. But that being said, like, the judges are prejudiced in cases where the defendant is guilty with frequency and the defendant is still guilty. So when I'm talking about that, though, Mark Randazza made a really good point about this. And he also referenced a writing that he did a while back in the Tsarnaev brothers case. Like, when you have a despicable defendant, you want to make sure the trial is extra fair. You want to go through everything, every hoop that you can possibly jump through to make sure that justice is being served, not just negative public sentiment. And this is not happening here at all. It didn't happen in the Texas case for Alex Jones either. That's why so many people are pissed about this.
That's been happening in this courtroom over the last couple of weeks, haven't you?
I have not been clipping, no.
You don't do that yourself. You have your employees do that.
I'm not even directing it.
Oh, okay. So you didn't know that this was happening?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled.
No, I've not been there, and I don't direct most of the headlines.
They just know that this is what you want, right?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled.
I mean, why is that
I'm not
overruled?
supposed to talk about the prior rulings.
Excuse me, sir.
So how do I answer why I think something's a kangaroo court if I'm not supposed to say why I think it is?
The question that I just asked you, sir, was whether
See, this is the stuff that is great about Alex Jones. He's stuck in this position with some severe limitations on what he can say. So he can't say this is bullshit. The ruling against me in the beginning is complete bullshit. They're so afraid of this man speaking, by the way. We'll get through this as they enter into several of these motions in limine, and this Patty here treads the line on all of them, where Alex Jones is clearly restricted from talking about certain things. This guy really wants the answers out of those things. And he's like, well, how can I say how much bullshit this is if you won't let me say what kind of bullshit it is? It's fantastic. He should do it all day because it doesn't make sense. And this guy motioned to have those prior rulings excluded from the courtroom. He knows what Alex Jones can't say, and he's going to try and weasel his way through it. Alex can just throw it back in his face, and he should at every opportunity. Again, most defendants should not. most defendants would not be in this position in the same way. But Alex Jones, this has to be performative for him because of who he is. And I think his lawyer, Pattis, knows this, and we'll hear at sidebar some really interesting conversation about what Pattis talks about, openly embracing Alex Jones's conspiracy side, because you have to. Most people aren't in this scenario, and when they get confronted with their like conspiracy stuff, they bitch up immediately. No, because their lawyer tells them, "Oh, you can't look like a crazy man on stand. Oh, no, you can't do that. The jury won't believe you. The jury will do this. Jury will do that." Look, Alex Jones is fucked on this case. It's in Connecticut. A bunch of kids died, and he's the guy they want to take it out on for some reason. It's his fault that all this happened. So they're going to bleed him for everything that they can. So don't try and like pretend you're going to get out of it by being the good boy now. That's not very useful. So embrace who he is, embrace his public persona, because that's why you have it. That's why it's there. And so many lawyers right now, in my opinion, are so far behind the times on social media, they don't even fucking understand. Do you think this Patty Cuck here, do you think this guy can fathom that 78 million individual people visited Alex Jones's website in 1 month? Do you think this guy can even countenance the idea that millions of people listen to Alex Jones and believe stuff that even Alex Jones has said he doesn't believe? He can't think of it, because in his circles, no one does. And in his circles, no one would. And in his circles, everything is wonderful. The government is great. He's just goes on with his normie life, and he goes to the store and he buys milk and he drinks it, right? Doesn't realize that it's pumped full of estrogen that's irradiated when they go through the pasteurization process, and his balls are slowly climbing back up inside him and will convert to ovaries at some point. Like, he doesn't understand that that is the reality that we live in. Instead, he's like, no, this milk came from a cow. Sure it did. Sure it did, Patty.
You knew that your employees wanted to do this, whether they knew that you wanted them to do
Renew
this.
my objection on speculation.
And it's the same ruling. Do you understand that question, sir, or do you want it played back or repeated? Because I want to make sure you're answering the question that's.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they agree with me. That's why they put that headline up.
And
Notice he didn't care about a yes or no answer there.
right above there, as you're saying, watch highlights from the Alex Jones Sandy Hook kangaroo court hearings. You're running an ad for Brain Force Plus, right?
Yes.
Orders a day.
Yeah,
Right?
of course I am.
This is what you're showing your audience. The next generation of advanced neural activation and nootropics. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And how much
Hey,
is
you're
that
on my
going
level.
for on InfoWarsStore.com right now with the sale?
I don't know.
And ever since this trial started, and you've been calling it a kangaroo court yourself, right?
Yes.
Right. And you've called this judge a tyrant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you actually use that word a lot with your audience. You call people tyrants, don't you?
Only when they act like it.
Oh, shit.
And one way that you've been conveying to your audience that Judge Bellis
Look at her
has
fucking
been
face.
acting like a tyrant
Look at her
is
face.
by showing her with lasers coming out of her eyes, right?
Okay, we gotta stop for 1 second though. The laser eyes has nothing to do with tyranny. The laser eyes has everything to do with that fucking look on her face. Look at that look. That's the laser eyes. You don't even need to draw them in. What? You know when they say the left can't meme? I mean, this guy is the embodiment of it. Well, these laser eyes are tyranny. No, laser eyes are just laser eyes. Get the fuck over it. It's an attractive thumbnail feature. It has nothing to do with tyranny. Gary Plausch wasn't being a tyrant when he popped that pedo, right? Like, but he's got laser eyes in fucking 90% of thumbnails that involve him. It's an artifact of the medium. Stop it. Stop. And what I hate about jury trials involving social media is we know this, like you guys know this. I know this. We're in this world a little bit, and you can't, like, these jurors have never, like, half these jurors have probably never even been on, they may have gone to Reddit once. And they're like, oh, this is very offensive, and then left. God, ugh. And you don't have time to explain all this. Put me in as a social media expert, coach. I'm ready to testify. I'll fly to Connecticut tomorrow.
You know you did that?
I didn't direct that. First time I saw it was in court.
Oh, so you've been watching this?
Yeah, I've been watching.
Okay. You could have just watched from this stage.
Objection.
Representative.
Sustained.
But you've been broadcasting your show during this trial, haven't you?
I have changed some of my show.
Of course he's broadcasting his show during this damn trial. It's his job. It's his business. That's why he's not there.
Let's pull up 477.
Is this full?
This should be in already.
John Stern says, who is the bigger piece of shit, Binger or this guy in the Alex Jones case? Binger, I
This is the
think.
tyrant you've been telling your audience about, right?
I'm barred from saying why I said it. So
I didn't
can't-
ask you why.
Oh,
This is the tyrant you've been telling your audience about, right?
I believe,
Sir?
So, Mr. Jones,
yes,
look at me. Yes, no, or
I
I don't know.
don't know
The answer is you don't know.
about that. I didn't make that.
I didn't make it.
This is the tyrant pictured here that you've been telling your audience about, right?
I thought you were asking me again about the image or about me believing this is tyrannical. Can you restate the question, please?
Sure. I'll restate it for the third time for you.
Objection to the comments, move to strike.
This is,
And we have one motion. Okay, thank you.
this picture right here, that's Judge Bellis, correct?
Yes,
Lasers coming out of her eyes, correct?
yes,
That's who you've been referring to as a tyrant to your audience, correct?
yes,
Okay, and you refer to tyrants to your audience a lot, right?
some,
Right.
Define a lot.
Tyrants are people who are going to oppress others and strip them of their freedoms, correct?
that's a common definition.
By the way, literally, like, it doesn't matter who you are on earth, but as a defendant, if a judge is ruling against you, then they literally are someone oppressing you and stripping you of your freedom. Like, it may be a justified oppression and stripping of freedom, but that is what they're doing to you. So it's kind of is goofy.
Right. And you've not just called Judge Bellis a tyrant, but you said that this whole thing, what's happening here, is part of a plot, isn't it?
Objection, motion eliminate.
No, not the whole thing. I think the jury's
Motion
real.
eliminate.
So, can I have that question again?
Yeah, I think what I asked
Don't
Judge,
answer, go ahead.
Understand.
Thank you.
what you've been telling your audience is that this whole thing is part of a plot, I believe is what I asked.
Objection, motion eliminate. Politics.
That's a yes or no.
It's a yes, no, or I don't know, sir.
I thought
So,
there was, Ron, may we approach briefly?
yes, sir.
Okay, so motion in limine is a motion that is presented pre-trial, and it is a motion to deal with evidentiary issues that one party believes should be excluded. In this case, the plaintiffs said this trial cannot be about politics. We don't want it to be about politics at all. Politics, no mention of politics. So now he's asking him this question. Alex Jones believes that answering this question is a political, or Alex Jones's attorney believes that answering this question is a political issue. And so he's objecting and saying the motion in limine. Now, one of the reasons he's doing this is because if you remember what happened at the Rittenhouse trial, and this civil trial, so it wouldn't be as big of a deal. But when one party thinks the other party opened the door and there's a motion in limine on the issue, typically you would ask the court for permission to walk through the door that they opened. And I think that's this interaction, but maybe it's a next one. But part of that is like he's asking questions related to the motion in limine. That means I'm going to on my turn to examine my client, I'm going to ask questions and they're not going to like what comes out, and judge, your order is going to not apply because they did that. So he's alerting the court to this.
He's going to talk about if this goes on, he'll read this, that, and everything else. And I thought that politics, was out of it. He thinks this is a plot orchestrated by. Excuse me. I don't mean that. He thinks this trial reflects the effort of tyrants to silence him, including George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and others. And by
So it's really faint, but let me say what he just said, just in case you missed it. And this is what I love about this attorney. Alex Jones believes that this is a plot orchestrated by tyrants, including George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and others. If we go down this line of questioning, this man is going to call out George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and others. This trial will get so fucking funny if we keep going down this road. But Judge, I know you don't want to do it, but oh, please let it happen. Open Alex Jones up to the world. Please do it.
asking this question, the door is being opened. Yeah, that opens the door.
Opens the door. She says, just move on. Just move on. Globalist.
And it hasn't just been, can we pull that back up?
I didn't hear the question.
I haven't asked one yet. It hasn't just been this way that you've been depicting the tyrant. Let me show you Exhibit 477. Is this 477? One moment.
I hate the way this guy walks. The guy just. Ugh.
You also have displayed Judge Bellis engulfed in flames, haven't you?
No, one of my crew made that. They make thousands of images.
Thousands.
Just 1 second. Is this a full exhibit?
No, it's not, Your Honor.
Pull it down.
She's not engulfed in flames.
No objection, Judge, I forgot the number.
461.
469?
1.
Thank you.
Do we have a bench copy?
And that's Judge Bellis on the right there, isn't it?
Yes.
Engulfed in flames.
Who's on the left? Austin Judge?
And
That's it.
I didn't ask who the other person
Oh,
was.
that's okay.
Yeah, that's another judge, right?
Objection, motion in limine.
That's not what I was going to say.
Objection, motion in
That's
limine.
another
There's no
producer's
question.
report. That's
So, Mr. Jones, because your attorney stood up and objected, so remember. when there's an-
I'll withdraw it. I'll withdraw it.
but you
Just-
s-
Yeah, another
just-
person made this
just-
report.
Just remember that when there's an objection, just,
What?
yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Another, one of your employees made that, right? Greg Reese?
Yes, it's another producer, an independent producer. His report that was made that we later featured on the site. I first learned about it in the last court case. But yes, I think it's showing that Lady Liberty's being burned up by due process being erased.
And Mr.
Oh,
Jones,
shit.
Greg Reese, are you saying he's not an employee of yours?
He's I believe he's a contractor now.
Okay, you pay him, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You pay him to create these video segments.
Welcome to Joe. Good logic. Welcome to him. Welcome to his viewers. Thank you for the raid. Alex Jones is here just dropping bombs all day on this attorney in this courtroom. He doesn't give a shit, and that's what we're watching right now. So welcome to the party, pal.
That's right.
I mean,
Greg Reese reports,
he independently makes what he wants.
and you pay him for it.
Yes.
All right. And you paid him, you can take that down, you paid him to create a little mini documentary.
Yes, that's what an independent contractor does. They independently do stuff, and then you pay them for what they do. If you want to, or you don't have to, I suppose.
About Bill Aldenberg just this past week, didn't you?
I don't know who Bill Aldenberg is. Oh, he's the FBI guy. I remember now.
Yeah, so you paid him to make a little mini documentary featuring Bill Aldenberg, didn't you?
I think I saw a thumbnail for it. I don't believe I've watched it.
Mr. Jones, you aired it on your show, haven't you?
I have a fill-in crew. I've been here.
No, Mr. Jones. This was last week. You were in Austin last
Well,
week.
we have. I don't watch the breaks, so
Okay, so what happens is when you're on your show, you go to break and they just show some video. And you
Yes.
have no knowledge of it, is that what you're saying?
I mean, I watch a lot of it, but no, I go eat food. I go to the bathroom. I hadn't seen. I remember now seeing an article about it or something about it.
Take a look at Exhibit 4.
I love lawyers because like they have no, again, they might be just playing dumb, but they have no fucking idea how media works. Like on my show, I'm probably playing all of the little stuff. Like, right? Like when I play this, when I play like this clip, you're up against the wall and the fucking wall. Like that's me doing that, right? But InfoWars is a highly produced multi-million-dollar show that has a studio and a full crew. Like Alex Jones isn't responsible for the fucking bumpers. Like, I mean, I guess he's technically responsible in some way, but he's not the guy who generates the bumpers. Like so if there's some thing that plays during a break, like he's probably not greenlighting it. Probably doesn't give a shit. Oh, the echo. Yeah. Well, too bad. It's how StreamYard does things. I don't know why StreamYard doesn't mute the shared screen when you are playing a StreamYard thing, because it mutes me automatically. But StreamYard and the developers of it are functionally retarded. I'm pretty convinced. So yes, there's an echo. Too bad. It's a pain to fucking mute it, play the thing, unmute it. And it's really stupid because they just mute every other screen. Anyway, let's go.
513, Mr. Jones. Just pull up for Mr. Jones.
ID at this
513.
point, sir.
513.
ID at this point, sir.
Yes. You have it? You have it, Mr. Jones, right in front of you?
Oh, it's-
That's it, right? That's a still shot from Greg
Looks like
Reese's
Alex
horse.
is taking a piss when he turns like that.
Featuring Bill Aldenberg.
I don't remember this report, but I remember this fella. Don't know who he is, never said his name till I saw him up here talking about me. And then I have seen this report posted. I haven't watched it.
Mr. Jones, you don't know if you ever said his name.
I'm sorry.
I've never said his name till
You
now.
know that?
Oh, okay. Show us.
Let's pull up Exhibit 50
Show it.
before we get to that.
I mean, you mean recently?
There's no question, sir.
Wait for the question.
Yeah.
Exhibit 50, is that full?
Show
It should be.
That's-
Thank you.
One thing I love about Alex on the stand today is several times the guy's like, should we play the video? Alex goes, yeah, play it. And then he never does. You know why? 'Cause he's a pussy.
Mr. Jones, this has been introduced as a chart of all of the days for which you didn't produce any videos to us in which you talked about Sandy Hook. So let's start with April 8th, 2013. Did you say Bill Aldenberg's name on that day?
I don't believe so. I don't remember him. I don't believe so.
You don't know, do you?
I think I've said like two people's names.
You don't know whether you said Bill Aldenberg's name, do you?
Do you?
From my memory, I never seen him before till he sued me.
So
And he said he never heard of me.
Again.
I'm sorry until
I'm
then.
gonna ask my question again. Why don't we just scroll through this
Okay.
as we do? Is it your sworn testimony to this jury that you never said Bill Aldenberg's name on any of these days here? Do you know that?
I got a pretty good memory, and the first I heard of him from my memory was when he sued me. I mean, but this was over 10 years. I mean, that's my recollection. I have never heard about him. I'm like, who's this FBI guy added to the list?
So
Yeah.
let's just make it clear then. You said 10 years ago. We got October 4th, 2021. So I just want to know.
Oh, I may have talked about him
I just
recently.
want to know. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Because
just
we're
wanna know.
here under oath. This is our chance.
Objection, Judge.
So I want-
Strike.
This guy, again, these fucking lawyers. We saw this in the Johnny Depp trial too. Rottenborn. Alex Jones is a showman. You can love him, you can hate him, it doesn't matter. The man commands millions of views because he is pure sexual entertainment. Like he just is. Men ejaculate when he walks by. Women flood the fucking Nile and the bayous fill up, right? Like it's doesn't matter. You can hate him all day. Men want to hate fuck Alex Jones or be hate fucked by Alex Jones. Women just know that it will be tender and sensual. Like that's how it goes. It's just, and you can never explain it. You never know what like charisma someone has, but Alex has it. He's magnetic. People pay attention. It's some combination of voice, like burliness, something that does it. Okay. This guy does not have it, but he's going to try. he's going to try to do it. And it's like, dude, you can't out-presence the guy. It's not going to work. You can't be performative because you're not. He is. Every day up on the show. Turn the camera on. All right, what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about we're going to crush globalists. That's what we're going to do today. That's what we did yesterday, or we're going to do tomorrow because the globalists aren't going anywhere. Right? Like every day he gets up and he does Alex Jones. This guy does this once a year, and it's never against someone like Alex Jones. You're not like note to every attorney. You are not an entertainer. You may be funny or witty in your group of boring lawyers and paralegals or whatever, but you are not like, you do not go online and command millions of eyes. You just don't. But Alex does. Johnny Depp does. These guys are going to make you look a fool. You're not going to do it. It's a bad strategy. It's a bad style. What they need to do is be professional. They need to be sharp. They don't need to get in these fucking pissing matches, and they all do. They can't they can't stop themselves. And it's so fucking embarrassing to watch because look, most lawyers you meet are fine people that all deserve to burn in hell. But they're not interesting. They're not paid to be interesting. Most of them. There are eccentric handfuls of lawyers, sure. Right? Like, there are really interesting ones. Robert Barnes, really interesting lawyer. Full of like interesting stories. Earl Grey, that guy's fucking hilarious. He's got tons of stories from a lifetime of lawyerly achievements. Right? These guys are interesting because they have some personality to them. They have some stories and experience, and that's great. Even those guys they're not Alex Jones. This guy isn't the Robert Barnes. Like, you're not going to be anywhere near that presence. You got nothing, homie. Just be professional, be sharp, get your points out there. Don't get in an argument. This is a strategic and tactical error on a case where you can't lose. Don't do it.
Like a commentary.
I want to know whether you can tell this jury under oath that you never said Bill Alderberg's name. Yes or no?
Not until recently. I don't believe I ever said his name.
Yes or no?
Objection, he has answered.
I think I just said his name. I think I've said his name recently. I can't remember.
Okay. What about before? Can you tell this
He
jury?
said
I don't
no.
believe I ever did.
So you don't know, do you?
If you've got me saying it, please show me. Refresh
Well,
my
I'm
memory.
asking you.
No, it was news to me when he sued me. I didn't know who he
All right,
was.
Mr. Jones.
This is such a fucking beta perjury trap. Like, if you've got him saying it, just say, well, what about on this date? Did you say it? Oh, let me refresh your recollection. Here you are. Why don't you remember that, Mr. Jones? Oh, you're telling us, like, just play the clip. The problem is he doesn't have the clip. And you're talking yourself out of the victory that you're wanting. Stop it.
Well, let's pull up
Play the clip.
513. I'd offer, I don't know if it's been formally admitted yet. This is the Greg Reese reports. I'd offer it.
I don't know whether the writings are going to run afoul. May I speak to Attorney Manning?
Absolutely.
Do you have it? I need to review the writings in lieu of the court's prior rulings, Judge.
Give him a moment.
Take your time.
Can we scroll down on it, please? Is there a word in-
Casey Moody says,
Can you
a
scroll down?
4-hour cross about the globalists and interdimensional aliens will be so funny.
Screen, no objection.
Please let this happen.
Let it. We'll offer it.
All right. Well, let's hear it.
Ryan H says in Kermit voice, call me Roy G. Biv
So
because
this
I am
is-
visibly on the spectrum. Globalists don't want you to snug as a bug in a rug. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Ryan H.
Your webpage, band.video, right?
Yes.
You ran this video last week. You see your Alex Jones Kangaroo Court. Watch day one, right?
Yeah, last week.
My crew posted this.
Yeah. Mr. Jones, you own 100% of
Yes.
Fusion Systems, right?
Hmm.
Okay, you're in charge, right?
I mean, yes. I'm just asking if I posted it. I didn't post it physically. I didn't make it.
Let's pull out of that. And
Again, he said, I've said his name recently.
The video is FBI sues Alex Jones to destroy First Amendment. That's the title, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
You know the FBI hasn't sued you. You know that, right?
I mean, I think that's a point of view.
Excuse
I
me.
actually agree with that.
Mr. Jones. Oh, you agree? The
Hell
FBI
yeah.
is a plaintiff in this case that sued you here. That's what you want to tell this jury?
I mean, he's an FBI agent and he's up here in his capacity. And when he got asked,
Excuse me, Mr. Jones. I asked,
It's a good fucking argument, isn't it? He's an FBI agent here in his capacity as an FBI agent. And when he testified as an FBI agent. Fuck off. How can you not have this opinion?
asked you whether it's your testimony that the FBI is the plaintiff in this case. Is that your testimony?
I mean, I think this is a deep state situation, yeah.
Mr. Jones, you understand what I'm asking.
Objection, move to strike the commentary in
Right,
bedroom.
so how about if we just get an answer to the question?
He did.
The question is the FBI a plaintiff in this case? Yes, no, or I don't know?
I mean, I don't think officially they are.
But this is what you tell your audience here, right? Did you see any Bill Aldenberg's testimony?
Objection,
He can absolutely have the opinion that the FBI is involved in a case with an FBI agent acting as an agent. Like, of course you can have that opinion. Well, they're not a party to the suit. Oh, so fucking, like the FBI doesn't have any resources dedicated to this case. Really? Like their agent isn't being paid for his time off to appear and testify and weep in front of the court or whatever it is. Like, are we serious? Like you can form that opinion without having the FBI as a party. It can be wrong, but it is not an unreasonable opinion, especially when you're suspicious of government, to think that when a government agent is party to a lawsuit in which the government agent is irrelevant, because I don't care what you think. Like you can think Alex Jones is the worst piece of shit on the planet for the whole like families thing and talking about these kids in such an awful way or whatever. But why the fuck is the FBI agent who is not a parent of a child at Sandy Hook who was killed suing Alex Jones in this case? Why is he there? Oh, you defame the FBI agent. Never said his name. Alex Jones is contending that he's never said this guy's name before. So how did he defame this guy? Like this guy? What is the basis for the claim here? And so if you're there, it's not a stretch at all to think that the FBI has involvement here. Yankees need not apply. Says free speech on trial. I could say the Civil War never happened. All ridiculous. Absolutely.
I did.
You
this
did.
is what you tell your audience. Did you see the testimony?
Sustained, so can we break the question down?
But that's what you told your audience,
Which one, Judge?
that the FBI had sued you, right?
No, that's the headline that another person made. But
And this video right here, I don't know if you can see it, just as of September 15th, had 190,000 views, didn't it?
yes,
And you heard,
Nailed
you
it.
said you watched Mr. Aldenberg's testimony?
I watched quite a bit.
You heard him describe the threats he had received?
Yes,
You heard him describe the harassment he had received?
yes.
You heard him describe years of feeling insecure as a result of the army that you sicked on?
Objection, Judge, move to strike that.
Sustained.
And
I mean, he said I never even said his name.
And then-
No, yes.
Disregard that.
So, Mr. Jones, your attorney objected.
Sorry.
No, let me finish. I sustained his objection and you answered it anyway. He won and you kept going. So just, why don't you take a break, drink a little water?
Okay.
Take a breath. And just remember,
Why don't you control the plaintiff's attorney who's acting improperly? Why don't you do that instead of admonishing Alex Jones?
when Attorney Pattis objects, just, I think your words were that you would be quiet.
Thank
And
you.
I'll rule.
You're right.
He won.
I'll slow down.
Okay, how's that, Attorney Pattis?
When you're on brain meld nootropics, it's hard to slow down to normal people levels. We got to keep the flow going, and frankly, I'm operating at a much higher capacity than the entire courtroom combined. You can get this at my website for $39.99, on sale right now for $19.99, and you can operate on my level as well.
And then the jury is to formally disregard the comments of counsel.
So ordered.
And after all that, you still chose to put Bill Aldenberg's face up in front of
Objection.
your audience of
Fact,
hundreds
not
of
an
minutes, correct?
Assumes a fact, not an evidence.
Overruled.
No, I did not direct Gregory to make this, but I think it's a good report.
Okay, so when you did become aware of it, you didn't take it down, did you?
No, I stand by the report,
Very good.
even though I'm being watched.
Just wait for the next question, sir, please.
So after Bill Aldenberg and after Judge Bellis, who's next, Mr. Jones?
Objection.
Sustained.
I mean, I guess if somebody's on national TV, oh, I'm sorry.
Again, no, Mr. Thomas.
Mhm.
Again, no, we're objective. And I sustained this to one, and you still answered.
Okay, I'm not hearing him.
Can you be louder? I never thought I would say this, Attorney Pattis.
Yes, Judge, I can be louder. How's that?
A little secret is I have serious hearing damage.
Okay,
And I need
so,
to get hearing aids soon, so,
your client cannot hear. So,
sorry. Seriously.
Yeah, the man uses in-ear monitors like all day, every day. That's how he hears. They're in-ear monitors basically are hearing aids. Like that's, I mean, so you just crank the volume if you have low hearing. Doesn't work in real life though.
Can't hear you, Norm.
So let's pull up just for the witness. Exhibit 512.
one more time.
512.
Oh, judge can't hear either, right?
Take a look at the screen next to you. That's the landing page for band.video, your video page, right?
Yes.
I'll operate on.
May I have 1 moment, Judge?
Take your time.
No objection.
All right, that's a full exhibit.
So if anybody goes to your band.video page right now, first thing they can do is buy high quality storable food from you because it's back in stock, yes?
Yes.
Objection to the form, they can do many things first.
Overruled.
And then
So?
they can
It's an ad on a web page. Yes, they can do all that. What is the
go to your Alex Jones Kangaroo Court Watch channel there, right?
Yes.
Okay. They can go ahead and click on the video that you gave yesterday outside this courthouse while Erica Lafferty was testifying, right?
I don't know that.
That's not you yesterday?
I didn't know that.
Objection, compound video,
Overruled.
that's fine.
That's you yesterday, right?
Yes.
You gave that press conference, what about 2 o'clock?
I don't understand the question.
You don't understand the
Yes, I gave a press conference.
Yeah, it was around 2 o'clock, right?
I believe so.
You know who was testifying at that time?
No.
Okay.
I was called here by you at 2, and then you said you didn't need me.
No, you were not, sir. So maybe you want to talk to your lawyer about that.
Objection to the colloquy and move to strike, Judge. I'm not in the case.
All right, so, Mr. Jones, I think you offered testimony, and there was no question pending, so it's best not to do that, okay?
Judge, may we approach briefly sidebar?
I'm
I'm
Your
going
Honor, I'd like to
to ask
move
for
on.
relief from the court based on a problem.
I'll see you, counsel, on the sidebar.
You called me here and then said you didn't need me.
We were warned about contempt, and he's trying to put me in the case with these snide comments, and I don't think you should tolerate it. Mr. Jones said something that was untrue about when he was here. I cannot do that. No, I want you to admonish counsel. I am not in the case. I'm not going to be put in the case out there on the stand.
Let's not put Attorney Pattis in the case. Do you want me to say anything to the jury about which of the prosecution or not?
I'd welcome you to say that what he just said was not accurate.
I don't know.
Because I didn't tell him to be here at 2 o'clock.
Here's the deal. At one point early in the day, he said, I made him available at 2. Early in the day, you alerted me. I don't know when I got to him. I just don't know. I did know that I asked him, Chris, please, before you
What do you
start,
want me to do? Just so that we can move on. 'Cause
let's
this is
just
so
move on. I just don't want to be, I don't want the sniping directed at me.
Okay.
We can pull that
Yes,
back
he's
up.
trying to protect himself from being called as a witness in this case.
And then down here, is,
And to be clear, Super Noodle says they act like we can't hear. No, the jury can't hear that. But the fact that we can hear is actually fine, as long as the jury can't. And this is something I actually appreciate. We need to have more trials where those sidebars, where there's a mic picking up the sidebars, but not broadcasting it to the courtroom, but it is still broadcasting it to us, because there's no reason for us to not hear a sidebar. They just want to have a brief argument outside of the ears of the jury. So that's actually great.
Greg Reese, that's your contractor?
Yes.
Okay. So anybody come to this band.video page, they got you up top, the Alex Jones show, they can see anything they want there, right? Of your shows.
Yes.
You got the War Room with Owen Troyer. He's the guy who comes on after you, right?
Yes.
American Journal, that's the gentleman who comes on before you. Those are your 3 live broadcasts each day, yes?
Yes, Chris.
Okay. You can back out of that.
Lava Vex says, I think this judge needs to be derobed. Brother, I don't think you want to see what's under there.
Mr. Jones, which is why I called Mr. Jones. So, Attorney Matty, Attorney Holmes.
Attorney Matty.
Mr. Jones and me tell each other fairy tales while we're eating all of our
Tell your audience,
nootropics.
Mr. Jones, this weekend last, that this is a kangaroo court, that Judge Bellis is a tyrant. It's a part of a plot.
So,
Because you don't want your audience to know what's really happening here. Isn't that correct?
No.
Objection, motion eliminating opening a door.
I don't think I'm opening any door with that.
All right, so I think you can answer that question, sir, but just remember the issues that are off limits.
Because your credibility, sir, is the most important thing with your audience, isn't it?
How do I answer a question, Your Honor, that I've been barred from answering under orders of the court?
All right, so the question is, your credibility is the most important thing to you. Is that a question that
It's the
you
most
can?
important thing with your audience.
No,
correct?
my most
No,
important,
okay, no. Your credibility is not your most important thing.
it's crushing
Okay.
the globalist.
Crushing globalists.
crushing the globalists. Nailed it.
And you tell your audience that they need to keep letting you crush those globalists for the sake of their own families, right?
Objection, Judge, motion eliminating door opening.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding, but I don't think that
You
there's.
probably are.
Jury At this point for 5 minutes so that we can work out this issue. Okay, so just be patient with us as we've been all along.
Globalists. Oh, I love this. I love this. My credibility is not actually important. Crushing the globalists is. Again, lean in. Lean in. When you are Alex Jones, lean in. There's no reason to run. Open the door. I'll explain it in a minute.
Maybe there was, oh, sorry. Maybe there should be excused for going to do this.
Well, He's a
He's your client,
party.
I think he's
Oh,
got a
that's
right
fine,
to be
that's
here.
fine.
So I'm not sure I understand. Attorney Pettis might be right and I just may not be getting it. So why don't we explore it a little bit and just.
My objection was.
Well, I want to get the question again in the line of questioning and see what the concern is.
I recall it, Judge, but if you want to hurt that.
No. Okay.
Attorney Matty inquired of Mr. Jones whether his credibility was his most important attribute. He said it wasn't. Then Mr. Jones offered crushing the globalist was, which was non-responsive. However, Mr. Matty adopted the non-responsive answer in his next question and asked.
See, this is great, by the way, of Alex Jones's attorney. So Alex Jones offered testimony that was not responsive to any question. Crushing the globalists, right? Normally, you would either ignore that and move on because it isn't related to a question, or you could even ask the court to strike it as non-responsive. Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive to the question I asked, please strike. Move to strike, ask the jury to disregard the comment. Cool, you can do that. Didn't do that. Instead, he prefaced his next question with, wait, so crushing globalists is your objective. Now he has adopted crushing globalists as the answer. He is saying, he's asking a follow-up question, and now he's going to say that this now opens the door to some motion in limine precluding the discussion of some other thing, because now the plaintiff's attorney is asking questions about this verboten topic. That means that we get to explore that topic when I get to ask Alex Jones questions.
About crushing the globalists. Mr. Jones would testify that he believes that this trial is part of a plot to silence him, funded by the names I'm prohibited to utter in the jury's presence, and we've had extended argument about that. So I'm simply alerting the court that, in my view, if we're going to have a consistent law of the case, and Attorney Maddie is going to adopt that comment to his questioning, that's opening a door that I will seek to walk through. And so that the purpose of the objection was to alert the court and counsel of that.
So
Potentially criminal says plaintiff's counsel opens the door like he's bending over at the truck stop, often and willingly. Oh, shit.
we don't, Attorney Maddie, we don't want to inject politics into this. So what do you suggest?
Nobody's injecting politics into this. What I'm trying to get at, the question I was just about to ask Mr. Jones, was the fact that he tells his audience that they need him to crush the globalists to support their families. I'm not getting into whatever he's talking about this plot is in this courtroom. What I'm getting into is the general approach he takes, which is to monetize his audience's fears and pain and misery.
So
you don't get to take half an answer and adopt.
By the way, guys, World War III is coming. I heard it from Tim Cass. Also, the globalists are crushing everyone. I heard it from Alex Jones. The only way to stop this calamity affecting your family is to send me super chats right now. Oh, my God.
The one part you like and ignore the part you don't. And I think there's a way to ask that without opening the door.
Yes, every news organization on the planet does exactly what that attorney just described, by the way.
There's nothing about Mr. Jones's relationship with his audience that has anything to do with who's funding this lawsuit.
Judge, if he's going to question my client's motives for wanting to crush the globalists and suggest it's all about a dollar, that's putting what he's all about right in the center of this case. And you may recall one of the questions I asked Clint Watts. Do you know whether Mr. Jones, I didn't use this term, gins the anger of the public up, or is he responding to an anger that's already there? Watts didn't know. Mr. Jones, whatever you may think of him and his conduct in Sandy Hook, has beliefs about the globalists. To question those motives about him, I think will entitle me as a matter of right to respond in my rehabilitation of him.
And bring up what topics, though?
Who are these globalists? You were just, you were told that you were publishing 512 and 513 as part of an effort to rile up your audience to make a buck. You've denied that. What are you really doing? Are you trying, who are these globalists? Why do you think this trial is part of an effort to sign, who is the tyrant? Why do you think the judge has behaved tyrannical? Nobody may like the answers he gives in this courtroom, but they're his answers. And if Attorney Maddie is going to call his credibility into question on these, I think I have a right to inquire about his beliefs. And I think that the court's been pretty firm with me in the last 3-4 days about where I can and can't go. And the record is clear. I think I've tried to ask questions within the scope of the exhibits the plaintiffs offer, but they always offer something and then say, oh, you can't use it for the purposes of defense. We can only use it as
I understand,
a sword.
so if you're going to ask Mr. Jones about the
This is great because he just referenced something that's been going on the whole trial, in his opinion, which is they offer evidence. I ask them questions about the evidence, and then they object to the question about the evidence that they offered. Like, I'm here trying to just facilitate a trial based on this stuff, and they're trying to use it as a sword, as a sword, and not let me reciprocate.
globalist. Attorney Titus wants to elicit testimony about who the globalists are, and that.
Oh, thank God. More Unbreaded Havoc says, here's my donation to the Pope. Please save us from World War III. Nomine et Patriot Filiat Spiritus Sancti. May the Lord watch over and keep you. The Lord being Matthew Harris, who says you stay away from these evil bitches and you'll be saved from World War II. Kill all enemies.
Apparently would violate.
I don't know if it would violate it. What I just
Well,
asked Mr.
I
Jones.
I think that I accept Attorney Pattis's representation that it would.
Okay, well,
Is that, am I
point of this-
understanding what you're saying, Attorney Pattis?
Well, I mean, obviously I'd have to get your permission to inquire, but I believe that this is opening the door.
if you accept Attorney Pattis's view here, then pretty much any question I ask Mr. Jones about what he does, Attorney Pattis is gonna say it opens the door. So I don't think me asking him whether or not he's making money from saying this opens the door to this, whatever his.
Here's the problem with that. That's not the question you asked, Mr. I mean, and the record is quite clear. Mr. Jones was asked a question about whether his credibility was the most important thing. He denied it and then gratuitously offered that crushing the globalists was. Counsel had two options at that point. It could have moved to strike that answer as non-responsive and then gone on to the question that he just asked. You're just here to make a buck.
Switching
But
this
he didn't.
poor
He
skeg,
adopted the
only
answer
110
opening the
proof.
door as part of a pattern in this case to use the motions in limine here as a sword rather than a shield. And we're entitled to swordsmanship as well, and we will engage it.
So I think that you can.
These two attorneys really desperately want a sword
inquire
fight.
About his monetizing his audience and making money, but I think that you have to steer clear of eliciting testimony that opens the door to his testifying as to who the globalists are.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you need a minute?
No, I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay.
What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Where are you gonna go, homeboy? Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead till we got the jury. Fuck. Till we get the jury back in the room. Casey says, when do you think this
Since
judge
this trial
last
started,
got
this trial
dicked down?
September 13th,
1978.
it's day 7. How much money has Free Speech Systems made?
I haven't kept track of it.
You haven't been getting daily text messages with the sales numbers?
No,
Your testimonies in the last week, nobody sent you any text messages or the communications with the daily sales?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Would you mind checking your phone at the break?
Objection,
Don't have my phone with me.
Okay. Well, when you get a chance.
objection,
You normally get,
There's an objection.
that's not normal stuff.
I couldn't hear.
Objection, that's not proper.
ongoing discovery obligation.
Well,
Yeah, but an ongoing discovery obligation means that when he gets new text messages pertinent to the discovery order, that he will produce those text messages. It does not give you an unfettered license to demand that to search his phone from the stand or to imply that he's not being compliant with discovery, you fucking cunt. Like, you don't get to just do that in front of the jury, and you know it. And the judge should be roto-rootering this guy right up his asshole for all of this bullshit, but she won't, because at the end of the day, this judge is compromised. And I don't know if it's some globalist plot funded by Hillary Clinton, but fucking George Soros. It doesn't really matter. This judge and the judge in Austin were both compromised. They had predetermined guilt of Alex Jones from the get-go, from jump. It has been a kangaroo court. I don't know if there's anywhere on earth where Alex Jones could get a fair trial, but the least fair place he could get it is in Connecticut. And I've talked at length in other streams about how much bullshit that it is that he, an Austin-based businessman, is being pulled into Connecticut for a Connecticut-based lawsuit. This should definitely be in federal court. It should have always been in federal court. But these judges are clearly 100% prejudiced against Alex Jones. The federal court judge probably would be too. But Jesus Christ, this guy is doing so much improper shit, and she has not so much as said stop. Like, is that too much to ask? Just say stop. You know what you're doing. You don't need to do this. You're a better attorney than this. Just stop this stuff, or I will have to eventually admonish you. I will eventually have to tell the jury to disregard this or give them a corrective instruction because you're going too far. You know you're going too far. And But this judge is in the fucking tank, not because she's paid off, not because there's no complicated reason for this. What Alex Jones said pissed off everybody in fucking Connecticut. And the judge is in Connecticut. Simple math on this one.
If that is the case, Attorney Titus, I'm sure you'll deal with it at the break. So we can move on.
You normally get daily sales reports, right?
Sometimes I do.
Tim Frugier sent you those?
No.
Tim Frugier sent you those back in 2019 and 2020,
Yes, that's when he was an employee, yes.
right? Now he is an affiliate
Yes.
with you, right? He helps run this website called freeworldoutlet.com,
Yes.
and you have a financial interest in that, don't you?
I think it buys products from us.
Excuse me?
Buys products from us and sells them.
It buys products from you. You make money that way,
Mhm.
and then they sell products on that website, right?
Yes,
And that's Tim Frugier, your former business director, right?
yes.
And you set him up financially to do that, yes?
I don't believe so, no.
You don't recall testifying in your deposition, sir, that you funded Free World Outlet initially to get him off the ground?
Can you refresh me with that testimony?
I'm asking you right now, if you recall
No, he doesn't recall it clearly.
I don't remember. Free World Outlet's a very small site. I'm not really paying attention to it.
it. Okay. And did you tell the corporate rep about that, freeworldoutlet.com?
I don't remember.
Okay. Who was the corporate rep, by the way?
Brittany,
Objection, which one? When? Tanya.
The one who testified here.
Brittany Paz.
And so Tim Frugier, who now helps run freeworldoutlet.com, he used to give you daily sales reports, yes?
Sometimes, yes.
Who does it now?
Saltstorm 007 sent to Rebecca McLaughlin. I would love to see Nick judge the She-Hulk courtroom scenes. They're so bad, so very bad. Some of the worst I've ever seen. 100. September 28th. I'm on EFAP. We're doing episodes 5 and 6 of She-Hulk. I'm watching all of it right now for that purpose. If you want to see me talking about She-Hulk, that's where it's going to be, baby. On EFAP. Come watch. Come watch. Maybe I'll do a short video on it or something at some point, but come watch on EFAP. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a long fucking show, 1 p.m. Central Time. Clear your fucking calendars because those things go 10 hours, 12 hours sometimes.
I've not been getting those reports.
Okay, well, who does it when you do get them?
I can go in and I can pull up the reports myself, but I've not been doing that because we don't.
Mr. Jones, the question I ask you is who's doing it now when you do get them?
Well, I'm not allowed.
Does anybody send you?
Objection, he's trying to answer, Judge.
I'm not allowed under the judge's order to tell you about what happened to my company.
That's not true, Mr. Jones. What I'm asking you is who
It is
sends
true.
you daily sales reports?
He's answered, asked and answered several
I
times.
didn't get the answer, so can you say it again, sir? Who would?
Okay, you're telling me to answer the question.
All right, so, well, I'm going to excuse the jury again. You're gonna get your exercise
When Alex
today.
Jones is a
You
better
will
judge
get
than the
this.
fucking judge on her own orders, that's
Your hands down and
embarrassing.
you'll follow along.
What day is this video from? This is from today, Ben Hertz.
I think he's following the rules here. I think he was probably gonna say one of the bankruptcy.
Just the bankruptcy people are in control of it.
Who sends you the daily sales report?
Objection, objection,
They don't-
objection.
All right, so,
They've taken it
No,
all.
no, no.
Objection.
well, that was nice and
I'll
loud.
get it there, Judge.
So,
That calls for the identity of a person.
no, so in fairness to Mr. Jones.
Oh,
he
finally.
Said whatever the lingo is for a bankruptcy, what were you gonna say?
Yes, until yesterday, the CRO, the bankruptcy's in full control of everything.
All right, so,
And they,
That's not responsive to my question.
Objection.
no,
because I can't say it's,
so the question, no, you did the right thing.
It's like I can't fucking say it.
Who sent him who gets the daily sales reports now, and if the answer was the bankruptcy person, then he knows he's not supposed to say
I
that.
said, who sends you daily sales
And
reports?
he said no one does. When he gets them from the bankruptcy people.
I don't think he said no one does.
He
but-
said no.
That is
2 or
correct.
3
All
times.
right, so what do you propose to do? Because he's following
Move
the
on.
rules. Okay. Well,
Move on.
Thank you.
Let's do the move on, Judge.
So why don't we get the panel? I think it's a good thing we brought the coffee pot to the panel.
Fine.
Skip ahead till we get the jury in there. Despite these great AJ faces.
Take your seats whenever you're comfortable. So I hope you don't think we're, just be seated. I hope you don't think we're being impolite. We have issues to discuss, and it's so much easier to have you all get up and go to your own than us trying to all set up somewhere else. So, just bear with us.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit.
Oh, are you? Just on your own volition, you're going to shift
You agree
gears,
with me that
bitch?
your reputation is very important to you?
Objection to the form, Judge.
Overruled.
No, I don't agree.
Do you agree that protecting your identity from lies and
Someone in the chat just said, I'd be pissed if he mocked my child's death, wouldn't you? Yeah, of course. Of course. These parents have every right to be pissed. The question is not whether they have a right to be pissed. The question is whether they were defamed or not. 2 courts now have determined without a trial that they were defamed. And then 2 trials have occurred to determine the damages for the defamation. But the problem is not whether or not they're pissed. The problem is where the limits of free speech are. Now, Alex Jones, what he said, he's since retracted. I don't know. I don't know, man. I have a hard time with it. And yes, it's very, very unfortunate that that he basically said stuff about dead children that wasn't true. Like that sucks. And it hurts. But you know, people say shit that sucks and hurts. It doesn't mean you get to sue someone for all of the money that they have. Like that's just not how it works. And the crazy thing about this is because the topic is so sensitive, it doesn't matter what damages the families actually sustained. The juries will award massive amounts of money to these people without really having to prove up specific damages because they'll base it on emotion. They'll do exactly that. Oh man, wouldn't it suck to have my kid mocked by this guy on his national television program? It's like, yeah, I got it. But you're also like a plumber. So are you really suffering $8 million worth of damage? Like, I know the loss of your child was very damaging, but someone saying something incorrect about them later to an audience of 5 million people doesn't mean that you get $8 million. Like that didn't harm you $8 million. Where's the harm coming from? And that's the hard part about these trials. That's why it's so hard to get a fair trial. And that's why this trial should absolutely not be held in Connecticut.
falsehoods about you is something that you care about?
I care about freedom.
That was my question. So my question was, do you agree that protecting your identity,
I care about
your
freedom.
own identity, from people lying about you, spreading falsehoods about you, that's important to you, is it not?
It's a yes or a no or a.
Yes.
I mean, that's just a human thing, isn't it? Nobody wants to be lied about, right?
No.
And particularly about the core things that make them who they are, right?
Yes.
And you have those things in your life, your family, yes,
Yes.
your work,
Yes.
your relationships with your loved ones, right?
Yes.
The lessons you learned as a young person about how to be in the world, yes?
Yes.
All of these things that go into who you are as a person, right?
Yes.
And you would never want to be maligned or lied about those things that are core to you, correct?
Yes, but I have been plenty.
Yeah, this is a guy who
And that's
who's
perfect,
lied about
isn't it?
literally constantly.
The world isn't an easy place. When people become political figures, they get in their arena.
You know what, I think that was probably what you were just trying to do there, was to suggest.
Objection.
Sustained, and as I told the jury, and I know you're probably sick of hearing it from me, but this case is not about politics, okay? The hearing of damages. Why don't we move on?
Were you just trying to suggest that my clients, these families, deserved what they got because they had stepped into the arena? Is that-
Objection.
Argumentative.
No.
That's not what you, okay.
But I'm saying when you get,
That's not what you were saying.
Just wait for.
So what I'm trying to get at though, Mr. Jones, is that these things that are,
What you're trying to get at is anything to win the case, whether it's proper or not. That's what you're trying to get at.
core to who you are, core to anybody is, they're lied about and defamed, even just to a small group of people, that can be very hurtful, can it?
yes,
And although you've been critical of
Hurtful is not the
this
same
court
as economic
and the judicial
damages.
system, you yourself have sought protection in the courts when people have lied about you, haven't you?
I mean, I have before.
Yeah, and in fact, during this very lawsuit,
Wohall says, my daughter was killed by a drunk driver. I am so fucking sorry to hear that, by the way. That is, that's every parent's nightmare. It is every parent's nightmare. And I'm sorry that you went through that. 3 newspapers reported she was driving. In fact, she was in the very back seat of the Suburban. I didn't get to file against the papers. And if you did, you would have lost. If you did, you would have lost. That's the crazy thing. Even though her daughter's memory and legacy was maligned by saying that she was a driver, therefore implying that she was a part of the crash, doesn't matter. Newspapers do it all day. But Alex Jones, oh man.
you yourself have brought a lawsuit against others who you claimed had defamed you, correct?
You're talking about the Young Turks?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You did that, right?
Yes.
Can we bring up exhibit 434 for Mr. Jones, please?
Fuller ID,
It's ID, Your Honor.
134.
Motion to eliminate politics.
434.
Motion to eliminate politics.
Why don't I take a look at it first?
Sure.
So, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones was asked about this in his deposition, huh?
Doesn't matter, Judge.
Yeah, that was funny. He was asked about this in his deposition. So fucking what? Not in front of a jury, not in the courtroom, and that part of the deposition may be excluded from trial by order of the motion in limine.
All right, I can tell you. 9 pages, I believe. There's an exhibit that's attached.
I want Alex to take super male vitality on stand.
The ID in here too.
Can I give you, I can give you my copy, Judge, if you want to
No,
look at
that's, I don't want to take your copy. Just give me a minute. I'll make a phone. We have to keep Ron on his toes.
Come on, Judge.
Thank you.
Good job, Ron. Oh, I'm so fucking hungry. Guys, I made spaghetti today, but I made with chicken breasts and chopped up the chicken breasts really small after grilling it. Or pan frying it, sorry.
Can I see counsel on the sideboard, please?
Because I didn't have any meatballs. My 7-year-old loves spaghetti and meatballs. And I was like, hey girl, I don't have any meatballs today. No.
He's going to talk about why he sued the Young Turks, and he believes that they're part of another political conspiracy. I mean, the problem with this one, everything is part of it.
Young Turks are absolutely part of a political conspiracy. They are unentertaining, uninteresting, fat, and ugly, except for Anna Kasparian, who sometimes looks kind of bad. But these guys are boring and terrible, and they get promoted out the fucking roof. I mean, it's insane how much promotion they get for running such a fucking shitty show. They're 100. They're part of every political conspiracy. Fuck the Young Turks.
The complaint, which is an admission, is offered to show his knowledge of damages. Especially this, the Young Turks are another media organization. They're a media organization.
Right.
That's it.
They're competing people who he thinks got co-opted as part of a conspiracy against him.
Look, that to me isn't in politics, and beyond that, that's not relevant for the purpose to which.
But you don't get my position is, Judge, the plaintiffs don't get to choose the purpose without opening. They can't say, well, we get to hurt, but you can't help your own client. It doesn't work that way. In the same way that many of the exhibits they've offered contain the very figures whose names I'm prohibited from mentioning.
I'm using it, and so.
Well, I don't know that you're using it. The court needs to rule.
I'd ask you. I think to go to anything beyond the issues that I'm going to ask him.
I'm going to ask him. I'll ask him why he sued the Young Turks, and then they're going to have to live with that answer.
Yeah. Fuck you, Chris.
And is it going to violate my order?
It might.
But you don't know. It might or might not. I mean, I don't know.
If he
I'm
answers
asking because I don't
truthfully,
know.
if he answers truthfully, he will talk about them being part of having been co-opted by a political opponent. Yes.
Based on what?
It doesn't
Doesn't matter.
It's his understanding.
It's his belief. It's
Well,
his
I mean, my
understanding based on
contention
his
is
own.
just they don't-
based
the
on his
plaintiffs
dick.
Do not get to open a door and then say you can't look inside the room. And so there are ways to do this without opening that door. But if they're going to open it, we're going to walk.
How do you do it?
You've sued, you know about damages. No, so if the contention is you've sued, you know how people can sue for defamation. You sued for another group, correct? He acknowledged he did. You're seeking damages, you have money damages for your reputation. Yes. That's because you believe that's an appropriate thing to do. Isn't that right? I think that's what they're trying to get.
It's nothing political.
I don't
about
always
that.
agree with them, but I'm agreeing with them.
Can I order this piece of the record?
Look, I'm going to ask the questions about it, and we can argue about what doors.
Well, no, I'm
It'd be much
objecting.
better if you did it. Along those lines, so it doesn't open the door.
I don't want to talk about politics with this guy at all. I'm going to ask him
He
about this
doesn't-
lawsuit and his claim that he was previously. Okay, well,
Judge, I think they do so at their peril.
fine.
I'd offer, Your Honor, maybe jury be excused, I'd like to make a more complete record based on what I just heard in sidebar.
So that is on the record, so we have the record and it will be admitted over objection.
So before we pull it up,
Wait, real quick. I want to finish the story. So I was filling time, but so I made the spaghetti with chicken breast, and then I chopped it up after pan frying it. I chopped it up really small, incorporated it into the spaghetti or whatever. So I'm like, hey girl, I didn't have meatballs, so I have to make the spaghetti with chicken. Is that okay? And she goes, yeah, it's okay, Dad. I see your mistakes. And then she hugged me. It's like, it wasn't a mistake. I didn't have meatballs, you little brat. It's a fucking kid. In a Rut says, next time we see Lady Rackets, will we see shop teacher level of boobages? No, Lady Rackets did not get breast implants. Oh my goodness. She's already called Lady Racks. She's already got sufficient, sufficiently wonderful jubblies.
let's just give the jury a little back. So you brought this lawsuit against an individual named Brianna Wu, correct? An individual named Andrew Kimmel, yes?
Yes,
And a entity called the Young Turks LLC, correct?
yes,
And you brought that lawsuit in September of 2019, correct?
yes,
So about a year and a half after this lawsuit was filed.
yes.
And do you know who Brianna Wu is?
It was people online, so-called journalists saying,
So-called journalists.
So I want to ask
I don't remember who she is now.
Okay, you don't remember who she is, thank you. Do you remember who Andrew Kimmel is?
Not really.
Okay.
Oh,
But
rip.
you sued him.
I mean, yes,
Okay, and the Young Turks LLC, am I correct that that's a media organization?
yes,
And you brought this lawsuit because you claimed that these people had spread a lie about you, right?
Objection, motion eliminated.
I-
I'm gonna allow it.
I brought the lawsuit to get him to retract it and stop saying it.
But what you
It
wanted
wasn't money.
well, we'll get into that, but what you wanted was you sued them because you believed they had spread a lie about you, correct?
Yes, it was directly connected to this case.
Correct. So let's get into that. So what happened was, back in 2019, you were required to produce some documents to the plaintiffs in this case, correct?
And I did.
Okay. And among the documents that you gave to your lawyers and that your lawyers produced to us were some emails, correct?
Yes. I
And
think 200 and something thousand.
so, sir, really, you just have to answer my
Right,
question,
so-
yes or no?
Really? You just have to answer the question.
Excuse
What?
me.
Why are you mad
So
that he
if
said
anyone-
200,000?
Either of you need any help with any witness not answering the questions that you're asked, ask me to do it. That's my job. I like to do my job. I'm not bad at my job. I know you know what I'm gonna say. Over here.
Just yes or no.
Yeah, or I don't. Okay, just answer, sir.
And,
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm speaking.
thank you, I'm sorry.
Just look at me. Just yes, no, or I don't touch. Okay.
Your lawyers, you gave your lawyers some emails to send to us and they sent them, right?
Yes,
And attached to some of those emails were images of child pornography, correct?
yes,
And the FBI was alerted about this, right?
yes,
And the FBI concluded that while those emails were in your organization's possession, they had been sent to your organization from outside, correct?
yes,
And that there wasn't any evidence that you or anybody in your organization had opened them, correct?
yes,
In other words, that although they had been sent to us, that had been done inadvertently, correct?
yes,
And when you were advised of this, you were upset, yes?
yes,
And so you went on the air, correct?
yes,
And you blamed my office for having planted it, correct?
no,
Mr. Jones, do you want to see the video, sir?
Play it.
go ahead and roll it.
Would you like me to?
I mean, if you want to.
You offered $1 million to have my head on a pike.
No, objection, that mischaracterizes it. May we approach?
I don't think we need to. That's
Yeah, I
what
do.
Yeah, you probably fucking need to.
Come on.
In a rut. Wait, no. I wanted to read this from Connor Crosswick. He says, "Is the whole you can only say yes or no to the question a normal thing?"
He was never charged
The
with a
judge has seen
crime.
the video.
You've seen the video, and he said he talked about his suspicions about Mr. Manny, but he never said. He said he'd offer $1 million for the person who did it. He had suspicions about him. To suggest as an officer of the court, otherwise, excuse me, to suggest otherwise as an officer of the court, I'm asking for a curative instruction and admonishment of counsel.
Watch the video.
No,
I was sitting there. I don't
can
need
you
to.
ask, so I'm not gonna give a curative instruction, I'm not gonna admonish. Can you ask me?
He flat out fucking lied about what Alex Jones did to prejudice the jury, because he's been doing that the whole time. That's the whole purpose of this, by the way, is to make the jury mad at Alex Jones for not respecting the court, not respecting the judge, and not respecting this gay lawyer. Of course, like, look at his fucking face. Of course, that's what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. This judge is just not going to stop it. She's just not going to stop it, even though it's obvious that that's his entire fucking ploy. And it's mind numbing. Oh, it's so irritating. But anyway, the yes, no, the question's a normal thing. Kind of, except almost judges don't routinely actually hold people to strictly yes, no answers. If you ask a question and someone wants to offer some explanation, usually they're allowed to offer some explanation. Ask a question that doesn't allow them to offer explanation. There you go. Do that. Their explanations can come on rehabilitation by their own counsel. But in this case, like, ask the questions better. Don't let Alex Jones have these answers. But in a lot of courts, especially in cases we've watched here on the show, they get to add quite a bit to those yes, no answers. It's only here with Alex Jones that it seems to be a problem.
Well, he hasn't answered it.
Right, so
So you can say
court's
no, I
objected
guess.
to, so can you ask it in a different way?
Your Honor, he can say no if he wants, and I can impeach him.
Can you ask it in a different way
I
then?
don't want to ask it in a different way.
So then I'll sustain the objection and then you
Thank
can
you.
try to ask it.
And Attorney, we're due for a break anytime between now and the next 10 minutes. I'm gonna leave it up to
Great.
you as to
Yep.
when is a good point.
Thank you. Yep. So, Mr. Jones, when you found out about this, you went on your show, right?
Yes,
And you held my picture up to your audience, yes?
you have to refresh my memory.
Oh, Mr. Jones, you know you did that. don't you?
Objection.
Overruled.
You know you did that.
You know you did that. He just said he didn't.
No, I believe you conflated your picture being on the pile of stuff, me saying it was a reward to find out who did it. So how is it a reward if we don't?
So, Mr. Jones, the question was, you held my picture up, and I'm not sure I got your answer. Was it yes, no, or I don't know?
Or you don't recall.
I don't recall.
what
I
he said.
don't recall.
Do you recall pounding on my picture? Do you recall
I
that?
pound my desk all the time. It was a pile of papers. I remember that.
Okay, all right. And the reason I'm doing this is because when you went on the air and did all that, people found out that there was this issue about your company having sent child pornography to my office, correct? That's how people found out about it.
Well, you're not going to be clear that someone sent it to me.
No. I think we've established that.
No, but you're getting it set up for clips, though. I know what you're doing.
It's really, I think it's established and nobody contests that you had nothing to do with that child pornography. Okay, let's make that clear.
Yeah, you
Oh,
guys
thank
found
God.
Correct. We found it because it was sent to us,
it.
right?
It was embedded, and then you guys found it. Really good job.
So,
Alex just fucking nailed him. Did you hear that shit? You accused of us sending it. Oh yeah. I didn't know it was there. And you guys found it. It was hidden. It was embedded into it. And you guys found it. Good job. 200,000 emails. You found the only child porn. Fucking bent over. Oh God. Hilarious. Cynthia says, which side doesn't want him to talk politics? So odd that he can't, would serve the families. The plaintiffs. The family side is the one who made that motion in limine. It's the family side.
so, Mr. Jones.
I know I'm not supposed to start.
No, okay. No commentary. Answer the question that's asked.
But when you went on the air,
But
that
yeah, if you guys don't know the story, there was a big hubbub because Alex Jones, as part of discovery, sent some emails with child pornography to the plaintiff's office. There's a huge, everybody posted the story because Alex Jones sends child pornography to the plaintiff, blah, 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 blah. But it turns out like the FBI reviewed it. It was sent to Alex Jones. It was in the inbox of InfoWars or whatever. It was in the inbox. It had never been opened by any InfoWars staff. No one had seen that thing. No one had seen the child pornography. It was responsive to the discovery request. And then the prosecutors found it, or the plaintiffs found it fucking immediately. So Alex Jones had, I think, posited the possibility that it was a setup orchestrated by them. It's not the most unreasonable conclusion, by the way. Epic says, inbox or spam box. I don't know if it was inbox or spam box. It doesn't ultimately matter. All of it, anything responsive to the pleading would have to be turned over.
that's how it became public that there was this whole issue that child pornography had been sent from your company to my law office, correct?
Objection, Judge, that calls for speculation that, well, maybe one evidence.
I don't remember.
All right. But in any event, once it became public, you claimed that Brianna Wu and Andrew Kimmel and the Young Turks had lied about you having sent it, correct?
They said more than that, if I remember.
Right. And you allege that in your complaint, right?
Yes.
And that was deeply harmful to you, that they had lied about the fact that you had sent child pornography, right?
People still say it all the time everywhere.
It's a terrible thing to be accused of, correct?
Yeah, but they quit saying it, so I dropped the suit.
And they were spreading to all over the internet this lie about you, that you had sent child pornography, correct?
Purposefully, yeah, that was the issue.
And that's why you brought this lawsuit, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the trick. Alex sued them because they said he intentionally purposefully sent child porn, that it was part of Alex Jones's move to do this. He sued them when they stopped saying it, when they stopped spreading the false narrative that he intentionally did that, because the FBI came out and said, no, they didn't. Now, the FBI kept all the child porn, by the way, because the FBI is gross. But when the FBI came and said, no, actually, they didn't even look at this, it's not from here, they all had to shut their fucking mouths. And so he dropped the suit because they stopped saying it. That was the whole point. That's what he's talking about here. The interesting thing though is this lawyer is trying to use this lawsuit to get to Alex Jones on understanding damages from defamation. But Alex Jones said, I wasn't suing them for money. I was suing them to get them to stop saying the false thing. When they said the false thing, I stopped.
Okay. Your Honor, this would be a fine time for a break.
All right, so we will take our morning recess now, 15 minutes. I know you're probably saying to yourself, why do we need another recess? We just got up and down, but our staff has been here and we've been working the whole entire time. And so I'm required to give them a break. So you'll continue to obey the rules of your conduct. We're on 15 minutes, puts us at what time? I turned my Apple Watch.
Okay, I'm going to skip ahead. So here's the thing, guys. We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're going to watch a little more, but we're not going to finish this testimony. There's a whole lot left. There's 3 hours left today. And I won't get, even though there's some breaks in there, there's a pretty significant break here, but it's still significant amounts of testimony. It's going to be way too late. I may carry it into the weekend to go back to this, but tomorrow, for the new people who are here, I am planning on actually live streaming the Alex Jones trial tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Time, and watching it for the full day, just like normal. My schedule miraculously cleared up. I don't know how many days I'll be able to do that. We'll have to see. I'm gonna try, but like I have a phone call scheduled on Monday. So I might be able to do it, but I might have to take a break. I don't know exactly how everything is going to work out. We'll have to see, but we'll be streaming the trial tomorrow during the day, full trial with commentary, maybe with some other lawyers, and possibly a surprise interview in the middle of the day. We'll see if we can work that out. Here we go.
Thanks, John. Just bear with me for a moment. Mr. Ferrero's getting my notes that I left in my chambers.
Talking about this.
Thank you. Whenever you're ready, turn your mic.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, before the break, we were talking about this lawsuit that you brought, right? Remember
Yes.
that? Okay. And again, this lawsuit was brought against Mrs. Wu, Mr. Kimmel, and the Young Turks LLC for.
Okay, chat. I'm being told that the last 20 minutes is just red meat, that the judge loses control of the courtroom. It's fantastic. All right, here we go. So here's what we're going to do for the rest of the show. We're going to watch this final segment, 25 minutes plus some pauses probably. We're going to do unbreaded and any super chats, of course, on all the platforms. We've got some on Odyssey, some on Rumble. And then we're going to wrap up the show so I can wait to, so I can wake up tomorrow and do the live trial stream. I know people have been asking me to do one and I have not had the time, but as I mentioned before, 2 of my kids got fevers today, which means they're not going anywhere tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. I'm home. So let's roll it.
And then Attorney Maddox can go along.
Okay.
Maybe?
So I was telling them, or I was telling my colleagues during the break that I may not recall, I may not have further questions for Watts. I'm trying to make the most of his time. If the court wants to discuss with Jones tonight, that's fine. If the court, today rather, if the court would consider starting it tomorrow, it'll be quicker. I'll have a chance to think about it. Otherwise, I'm prepared to start, but I won't finish tonight. And there'll be a little bit of filibuster
Yeah,
in
I
here.
don't, you guys don't care, right? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so why don't we see?
Because
You want to just agree to end when I'm done with direct?
You wanna go?
Why do I have to be up early? Because we're watching this trial live tomorrow right here,
Welcome back, folks.
9 a.m. Central. Get on my level. Get on this channel. Tell your friends. Tell your wives.
Council stipulate that the entire panel has returned.
Yes, Your Honor.
Attorney Pattis, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge, yes.
Please be seated.
No, tomorrow's Friday for me.
Whenever you're ready, Attorney Meddy.
Mr. Jones, am I correct that you've estimated your audience to be about 10% of the English-speaking world?
I would have, I think at one time or another, 10% of the English speaking world has probably tuned into my show or seen clips of it somewhere.
Okay. So fair to say that in your view, at least, at one point, 10% of the English-speaking world was exposed to your content, yes?
Sure.
Yes, and that's about 50 million, not 550 million. That doesn't exist. There's not that many English speakers in the world. Your number, you're expert about.
Yeah, but that's actually not referring to people, that's referring to views. Do you know that?
Well, my coverage of Sandy Hook didn't have 50 million views.
All right, let's strike that.
Sustained.
Wait, what? Why would you strike
Are you
that?
aware that this jury has seen exhibits that in 2011 alone, there were 286 million page views on your website?
So,
But not on Sandy Hook.
Mr. Jones, see if you can answer my question. Are you aware, and I'm going to strike that.
Stricken.
Are you
why?
aware that according to your own data, just in 2011 alone, and just on Infowars.com alone, you had 286 million page views.
A page view is not a person.
So is that a yes or no? I didn't ask about people, I asked about page view, right?
I'm not a computer statistician.
Oh, okay. So, and the idea here for you, and has been, is to grow your audience so you can make more money, right?
No.
So you have expanded your audience year over year, right, since you started?
No, after the thing I'm not allowed to talk about happened, the audience got a lot smaller.
Strike.
Why? Why is he?
Jones,
Why does he have to strike that?
let's see if we can just agree on
That's some
this.
bullshit.
I know
He
you're
answered
not.
your
Let's see
question.
if, this is accurate.
No, actually, fuck that. Let's take just a second here. Mr. Jones, isn't it true that your audience grows year over year over year? No. After the thing I'm not allowed to talk about, my audience actually shrunk. And I'm pretty sure he's talking about getting banned off of every platform on earth. He's not allowed to talk about how he's been censored, because it kind of seems like maybe that globalist conspiracy is true, right? When you factor in that Alex Jones from one day was censored from every fucking platform on earth except Twitter, to give them some credit. It took them about a week to fold after that. But yeah, why do we have to strike that? That's 100% responsive to the question. That's bullshit.
The more people who come to your website or see your stuff on social media, the more money you make. Yes?
In a crude way, that's true, but not exactly.
All right. And every year in which you made claims about Sandy Hook, you were making more money, yeah?
Jack, it's a little ambiguous.
Let's go year over year. 2012 to 2013, you made more money, yes?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe so, yes.
2013 to 2014, you made more money, yeah?
Yes,
2014 to 2015, you made more,
yes.
and so on, yes?
But you can't just attribute that to Sandy Hook. A whole shitload of stuff happened between 2012 and 2015. Plus, the nature of social media is that you're either in a growth spiral or you're fucking DSP or Wings of Redemption or whatever, and you're losing money. But like if your show isn't going in the fucking garbage can, then like Ralph's or whatever, then you make more money year over year. That's the goal. It's a business. Most businesses are trying to grow year over year. And if you get a year where you don't have growth and you don't have an explanation, you've got a problem.
Yes, that's for the,
Is that yes?
that was globalism coming true.
Is that yes?
Yes, but Sandy Hook wasn't the driver of that.
Just right, Your Honor.
Stricken?
Oh, okay.
Um,
His lawyer will get to ask him all these
this
questions
is
about what
the
was the
time-
driver.
when you were repeatedly referring to the families who lost loved ones at Sandy Hook disasters, yes?
No,
Including Robbie Parker, correct?
I did say that about him.
And Robbie Parker, you repeatedly showed slow motion video of him walking up to a microphone to give a statement the evening after his daughter Emily was murdered, correct?
Yes, and I apologize for that.
We just strike that, Your Honor.
Sorry, can you pop an objection? I think it's responsive.
It's not, it's stricken.
It is responsive.
And so you apologize for that.
Many times.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Jones, let's do this. May I just have a moment, Your Honor?
Take your time.
I think all of the stricken answers so far since I started back up after peeing were responsive, actually.
Talking about this case and saying, you're not apologizing for anything. Didn't you say that? Yes or no?
I said I'm finished apologizing.
Didn't you say on your show last week, I'm not apologizing for anything. I'm right 99% of the time. Didn't you say that? Yes or no?
Yes,
And you showed this video of Robbie Parker over and over and over again, correct?
last week.
That's disrespectful.
No, during the years in which you did this,
The judge just
Okay.
isn't ruling on
you
objection.
showed a slowed down, edited video of Robbie Parker time after time after time. Yes?
It was a huge video on the internet. We covered it. We did not.
Is that a yes?
We showed the clip was on the internet.
Now, the clip that you showed was how long?
I don't remember.
You never once showed Robbie's statement that he gave about his daughter, did you?
I believe this is over 10 years. I don't remember.
You've
Why are
had from 2012
Okay,
until
okay. Stop leaning on the podium like a fucking fig. What are you doing? Stand up like a man. What the hell is wrong with you? This is embarrassing posture. Like, all kidding aside, no joking aside, don't ever do this. It looks weak. It looks sad. Like, this is not intimidating. I don't know what he's trying to do. First of all, this man is a slight motherfucker. I'm not I'm a slight motherfucker. You do not try and chest up on someone as a thin fucking dude. You don't do it. You got little bitch shoulders like this guy, like a weak ass chest like I do. You do not try and do the puff up. I'm going to lean over. You do this when you're fucking 260 pounds wide. Like you're a big dude who's imposing. You lean over. Then you can do that. Don't do this. Look at how fucking weak he looks. His back is arched like a fucking hooker. Stop it. Stop, stop, stop. Embarrassing. No, no. Someone get a newspaper and smack this fucking mutt. Weak, 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 weak.
Now show that full statement, correct? Yes or no?
I don't think it's fair to say I didn't show it because I don't
Well,
know.
do you know or not?
I don't know.
Okay. Would Brittany Paz know?
Now, this is the fucking soy tactic of lawyers. And it's not just this guy, but this guy does it. Don't you know, lawyer? Because if Alex Jones said yes, or if he said no, you'd try and trap him. Oh, you did show it? Oh, blah, 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 blah. Whether he showed it or not. The lawyer knows if he showed it on his show. He absolutely knows the answer. So why are you asking the question? When did you show it? Play the fucking reel. Play the tape when he showed it or when he did. Or just say, you didn't show it. You didn't show it.
I mean, we
Would Brittany Paz know?
I don't know.
Yeah, objection calls for speculation, by the
Whether
way.
you showed it or not, did you ever watch his full statement?
I believe so.
You do. You think you watched the full 15 minutes?
No, I saw what I saw on the news and I saw the big internet.
I'm asking you whether you watched the full statement, sir.
I don't remember.
Okay.
We're gonna watch it. It's Exhibit 2, John.
Wait, what? We're going to watch the 15-minute fucking video? Hold on. Rocco Rockwell says, I'm super drunk from league bowling, 64 ounces of Long Island's. Holy shit. 2 Rumple Munts and about 5 watermelon bombs. Heart you, Nick. Lol. Holy dude, you bowl fucking hardcore. You bowl hard, man. Chambers of My Heart says, did Jeff Younger ever get a hold of you today? No, he did not. For those of you unaware, Jeff Younger lost his rights completely per the ruling on September 21st, 2022 to the boys, Koonsfuller, Koonsfuller is one of Judge Mary Brown Platinum donors for her campaign. Yeah, Jeff Younger, I believe I've interviewed him on the channel. His ex-wife is a doctor who is trying to forcefully transition their son. Jeff Younger tried to stop that transition, has now completely lost all rights. And Anne Garagos, or whatever her fucking name is now going to be free to move anywhere in the country. Jeff can't even know where she will be moving, can never know her address, and she will be free to improperly influence the children to be transitioned. And I'm not fucking kidding. It's a gross case. Bob Piffle, what should we do? I'll tell you what we should do. Prepare for tomorrow's coverage by having a good slug of whiskey, honoring the coming of tomorrow and all its absurdities. Poured a shot, waiting on ye. Here we go, Bob. I'll go back to the 122.54 proof whiskey that I was drinking earlier. Oh, gonna have a little pull of it. Cheers to you, Bob Piffle, and cheers to tomorrow.
In a situation like this, I remember at Virginia Tech, when I went out there, parents, loved ones of slain young people wanted to remember their sons and their daughters, and as a result, they spoke and made a statement. So we'll see if Robbie Parker, I assume he's going to come onto the microphones now and make a statement. Looks like the family is there, and they're getting ready to come to the microphone, so we'll listen to that. Okay.
Okay, he was laughing 2 seconds ago.
My family is one of the families that.
Okay, so he's laughing like coming up to the stand, and then he comes up to the stand. Like I get it. I get it. And look, far be it from me. I process through levity, but it's a bad fucking look to be laughing when you're about to walk up and talk about your dead kid. Like, holy shit.
Lost a child yesterday in the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings here in Connecticut. I've been contacted by so many people and agencies wanting to know how we're doing, and I just thought that this might be the best way to share those feelings with everybody.
You know how I would share my feelings? If someone calls me and says, "How are you doing?" after my kid dies, the answer, frankly, is probably not a press conference, but it's, how the fuck do you think I'm doing? How the fuck do you think I'm doing, you asshole cunt? Stop calling me. I don't like being called on a normal day. Fuck you.
First of all, I'd really like to offer our deepest condolences to all the families who were directly affected by this shooting. It's a horrific.
I fucking love CNN. So you've got the father of the shooting victim at Sandy Hook who's sitting here bearing his soul. Walmart slashes prices on iPhone and iPad down at the bottom. Turn off the fucking ticker, you weirdos. God, the news is so fucking broken.
Tragedy, and we want everybody to know that our hearts and our prayers go out to them. This includes the family of the shooter. I can't imagine how hard this experience must be for you. And I want you to know that our family and our love and our support goes out to you as well. At this time, our thanks go out to so many people, so many friends and family and complete strangers who we don't know, for all the love, condolences, and support that you've given us. My daughter, Emily, would be one of the first ones to be standing and giving her love and support to all those victims, because that's the type of person that she is. Not because of any parenting that my wife and I could have done, but because those are the gifts that were given to her by her Heavenly Father. As the deep pain begins to settle into our hearts, we find comfort reflecting on the incredible person that Emily was, and how many lives that she was able to touch in her short time here on earth. Emily was bright, creative, and very loving. Emily was always willing to try new things other than food. She loved to use her talents to touch the lives of everyone that she came into contact with. She was an exceptional.
This should not be played in court, frankly. Like, this should not be played here. This is irrelevant to the case, but you know, they're going to get to play whatever they want. This judge is going to let them do basically whatever they want to do. Kenny H, is it just me, or does this guy behavior seem weird, oddly forced for a person who just lost a child? Why would someone who lost a child seem so forced? Not saying it was staged, but it reeks of Chris Watts' awkward demeanor. I don't know. I hope to never fucking find out how I act from losing a child. That's all I know. I'm not going to say anything about that. It's one of those situations. It's unfathomable. You can't prepare for it. There's nothing you can do. All you can do as a parent is fear the day that it happens and pray that it never does. Like that. That's it. You don't know how you're going to react at all.
Artist, she always carried around her markers and pencils so that she never missed an opportunity to draw a picture or make a card for those around her. I can't count the number of times Emily noticed someone feeling sad or frustrated and would rush to find a piece of paper to draw them a picture or to write them an encouraging note.
It's like 2
Emily's
minutes
card making was expressed beautifully this last October, when she placed a very special card that she had made into the casket with her grandpa, who also just recently died of a tragic accident. Emily was a mentor to her two little sisters in delighting and teaching them how to read, dance, and find the simple joys in life. Emily's laughter was infectious, and all those who had the pleasure to meet her would agree that this
There's
world
about
is
a
a better
minute and
place
a half
because she's
left
been
of
in
his
it.
speech.
As we move on from what happened here, what happened to so many people, let it not turn into something that defines us, but something that inspires us to be better, to be more compassionate and more humble people. Let us please keep the sentiments of love that we feel for our families and the compassion that we feel for others, even complete strangers, and keep them with us at all times, not just in times of sorrow and tragedy. And may we do this so that we can better all of our communities, in all of our cities, in all our states, so that we can make everyone, everywhere in this country feel safe. Thank you. I'd be happy to answer any questions as long as I see them to be within reason. I was leaving to work, and she woke up before I left, and I've actually been teaching her Portuguese, and so our last
It's almost time.
conversation was in
10
Portuguese,
seconds.
and she told me good morning, and asked how I was doing, and I said that I was doing well. She said that she loved me, and I gave her a kiss, and I was out the door.
There we go.
That's Robbie Parker, isn't it, Mr. Jones?
It is.
That's the real Robbie Parker, isn't it?
I mean, I said years ago, I thought San Diego had him.
Robbie Parker's sitting right here. He's real, isn't he?
Yes.
And for years, you put a target on his back, didn't you?
Objection to the form of that, Judge.
Well, I mean,
Didn't you?
I've said his name. It's true. I haven't said other people's names when I know who they are.
You put a target on his back, just like you did every single parent and loved one sitting here.
Objection.
No, I didn't.
No, you
Objection,
didn't.
that's argumentative. There's speculative. There is no foundation for it, and it's inappropriate to
Let's
this
move
time.
on.
These are real people. You know that, Mr. Jones?
Objection. Judge just said, let's move on, you cunt.
Just like all the Iraqis, but you liberals kill and love.
Whoa.
You're unbelievable. You switch on emotions on and off when you want. It's just ambulance chasing.
Called the fuck out.
Objection, Judge. I think that you get what you give in this court. Objection.
You have families in this courtroom here that lost children, sisters, wives, moms.
This is a struggle session. Are we in China? I've already said I'm sorry hundreds of times, and I'm done saying I'm sorry. I didn't progenerate this. I wasn't the first person to say it. American gun owners didn't like being blamed for this, as the left did, so we rejected it mentally and said it must not be true. But I legitimately thought it might have been staged, and I stand by that, and I don't apologize for it.
And don't apologize, Mr. Jones. Please don't apologize.
No, I've already apologized to the parents over and over again.
We know
I don't apologize to you.
Objection.
It's like the judge just decided not to be in the courtroom. What the fuck is she doing? First of all, if nothing else, she could admonish Alex Jones, but she should be stopping this. This argument in front of a jury is completely improper. What the fuck is this chick doing? You're a judge. You have a gavel. Tell him to shut the fuck up.
Don't apologize to you.
You're going to do it again.
Objection, Judge.
Aren't you?
Objection. Objection. Argumentative.
Don't apologize to you.
Well, it's hard for me to.
Here's where I've seen part of this clip. Here's where she is a total fucking cunt. A feckless pile of shit judge with no goddamn spine who's going to pretend she doesn't have any authority in her own fucking court. Well, the witness keeps talking. What am I supposed to do? La, la. I'm just a helpless dumb woman. No, you're not. You're a fucking judge. They put those robes on you. Fucking use them. You shut the courtroom down. You shut them up. And if they say another goddamn word, you hold them in contempt. It's really simple. This is completely improper to happen in front of a jury. None of it should have happened. The jury should have been excused. The lawyer should have been admonished or told, knock this shit off. And she should have turned to Alex Jones and said, hey, knock this extra commentary off. your lawyer's objecting and I can't even rule on it because you keep talking. But that's bullshit. Of course she can rule on it even though Alex Jones is talking, because she can just say, hey, shut up or I'll hold you in contempt. She won't do it because she's a pussy and because she's fucking owned. I don't know if there's a conspiracy to buy her. It doesn't matter. She's in the fucking tank against Alex Jones. It's been evident from the start. There was no way. I said this back when it fucking happened. There's no way for this man to get a fair trial in Connecticut. It cannot occur. It's not possible. It's too emotionally charged and he's too easy of a target. It's just, and I don't know what the answer is, although we had it in federal court until a bunch of fucking bullshit brought it back to Connecticut. But the reality is it can't happen. You're seeing it right here. None of this should happen in front of a jury ever. And Alex Jones's lawyer is probably just racking up time for a fucking mistrial.
You get a word in edgewise.
It is, but I
Because
think
your
there's
client
one
is-
officer of the court and one witness and an officer of the
why
court.
There's one officer of the court and one witness, Your Honor. You are in control of the officer of the court, and you know it.
Heard the
move
objection.
on, and I can't rule on your attorney's, excuse me,
I'm sorry, it's screaming at me.
I can't rule on your attorney's objection.
Understand.
He's talking and he may have a legitimate.
You're right, I'm sorry, I'm trying.
Because there's gonna be another Robbie Parker, isn't there?
Objection, Judge.
No,
Sustained.
There's gonna be another.
Objection.
Can I get my questions out?
No.
When it's the same form, second time, the inference is it's going to also be objected.
I didn't say Parkland was fake. I didn't say Uvalde was. And no, okay, so that's a fact.
What'd you say about Aurora?
Objection.
What, before this,
What'd you say about Aurora?
Excuse
I'm
me, are you
objecting to the
objecting to
question.
your
I believe it was a real
client?
shooting, but he was in a mind control program, just like Theodore Kaczynski. Sorry.
Are you objecting to your client's answers, Attorney
Both,
Pattis?
that's both the answers and the questions. This is a courtroom, not a
So
struggle.
here's what I'll tell you, Mr.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You're in a court of law.
Oh, suddenly she can take control of the courtroom, right? Like suddenly she can look at Alex Jones and get control of this thing. This is embarrassing for her as a judge. It's completely weak, completely pathetic. You should be in control of your courtroom. How the fuck are you not? Kenny H says, is it just me or does this guy's behavior seem weirdly, oddly forced for a person who just lost a child? Why would someone who lost a child seem so forced? Not saying it was staged, but it reeks of Chris. Oh, I read that one and responded. Tank Rat says, I'm a dad and I would not be joking and smiling for months after my daughter was horrifically killed. He, one, didn't care about his daughter or she did not die there. He told the press he was ready after putting his sad face on. Yeah, look, again, as a dad and as someone who processes a bunch of shit through comedy and jokes, I can't say how anybody else will react. Cause I might try and laugh. Like I might try, like I'm obviously not gonna be laughing about my kid, right? But I might try and laugh about literally anything else. Cause that's who I am. That's what I do. I'm not gonna comment on Robbie Parker, whatever his fucking name is. Doesn't matter to me. Whatever anyone wants to think about him, I don't fucking care. What I do know is this: the clip looks weird. It doesn't matter what the truth is behind the clip. The clip looks weird, and people are allowed to make commentary about shit that looks weird. And that commentary can be wrong, it can be incorrect, it can be mean, it can be hurtful, it can be hateful. Doesn't make it defamatory. And that may suck when your kid gets killed, if someone says your kid didn't die or you're an actor or whatever. But that, to me, doesn't get to the defamatory nature of the statements. Maybe something else does. But that's what they're selling the jury. And that's improper. This whole bit is improper in front of the jury. And that's a big fucking problem for courts. Again, doesn't matter if you like Alex Jones or hate Alex Jones or whatever. I don't care. Alex Jones may be completely guilty of defamation here. Doesn't matter what your opinion or the court's opinion is about that. What we can watch is impropriety happening in real time. And we don't get to justify impropriety just because the target of it may be detestable.
follow the rules as the attorneys do or officers report.
The attorneys don't seem to have to follow the rules, bitch.
And they are accountable to me and I will deal with them. However, while there were media in the room, this is not a press conference. This is clearly not your show. And you need to respect the process.
I understand.
Whether you like it or not, you have to follow the rules.
I understand, Your Honor.
So just take a breath, have a little water if you like, and wait for the next question.
Judge, I believe there's another admonishment as.
Oh, counsel, I'll see you on a sidebar.
Oh, look at that. Look at this fucking bitch. Counsel, how dare you suggest?
If I admonish anybody, it's gonna be both of you, okay?
What did Jones's attorney do? Real quick, just let's talk about this. Because this pissed me off earlier when I watched it while making fucking spaghetti. If I admonish anybody, I'm going to admonish both of you. Why? Why is she going to admonish Alex Jones's lawyer for objecting properly to the bullshit going on? What did he do wrong? Why is he going to be admonished? Oh, you have to do some equitable admonishment? No, you fucking don't. There's one bad actor here. It's this cunt right here. That's the bad actor. Admonish him. Do your fucking job. This guy is not a bad actor. He's not doing anything against the rules. He's objecting very properly to this bullshit line of questioning that isn't even a line of questioning. It's just an accusation. It's drama before the jury, and it's not proper. Again, when I said earlier, one, you're not going to Alex Jones. You're not going to out entertain an entertainer as a lawyer. You're just not going to. So you be sharp, you be crisp, you follow the fucking rules, and you do your job. You don't need to be performative. You've already won this case. The jury is already sympathetic to the parents of dead children. You don't need to do this. You don't need to demonize and vilify Alex Jones. He's already the villain. He's already lost. The jury already knows he's lost. All they have to do now is find out how badly. And this guy is risking it. And when I say this, I mean this very fucking clearly. This guy is jeopardizing the award for his clients through his shit performance. He's not actually serving his clients' interests by doing this. He doesn't look better right here. And he's potentially opening them up for an appeal.
You're shouting over your client. You just have to.
You're shouting over your client. Judge, your job is to stop the witness from answering. The witness is the unlearned party. He's shouting over the client because the client said he couldn't hear him, and you asked him to shout louder. He's doing what you said.
Stop. Okay, so let's get the next question and let's move forward.
Gonna admonish Alex Jones's attorney for doing what the court requested. Good fucking luck.
John, there's gonna be another mass shooting.
Objection.
One word basis, hearsay, irrelevant, what is it? One word,
Argumentative.
overruled.
There's gonna be another mass shooting.
Are you saying I'm going to shoot people? Like, how do I know there's been another mass shooting? Like, it's my fault. People think I killed the kids. That's my answer to you.
Let me see if I can ask my question.
Sure.
You expect there's gonna be another mass shooting?
There probably will be.
And when there is, you're gonna be ready to pounce, right?
Objection.
No.
No?
Relevance.
All right. Why don't you look at your screen there, sir?
She didn't even rule on the objection that was just leveled.
Say 76.
Yes.
74.
Hold it for everybody. This is your homepage, right? Infowars.com.
I can't. Roll up, please. Yes.
It's Mikhail Gorbachev, right? He died about 3 weeks ago, didn't he?
Yes.
Why don't you pull up the right side of the page? A little bit bigger, please, just the part survey there. And you're asking your audience that comes to your page
Yep.
to take a survey, aren't you?
No.
correct?
Yes, I didn't write the survey, but
And the survey is,
good questions.
what will be the most likely deep state false flag ahead of the midterms, right?
Yes,
What's the first option?
mass shooting, but I didn't write the poll.
Excuse me, sir, mass shooting?
Yes,
And so when the next mass shooting comes, you're already conditioning your audience to believe that it's a fake staged event, aren't you?
Objection.
well, false flag doesn't necessarily mean staged. It means they let it happen.
How many people responded to this survey, sir?
I don't know. Wasn't looking at it.
But there's going to be a mass shooting. And you're inviting your audience, even now, even after all this.
There's going to be a mass shooting, apparently.
Suspect
None of the other three
the
options.
next people, the next Robbie Parker, the next family are actors too, aren't they?
Objection, argumentative.
No, I didn't say Uvalde was staged. I said the police did over 77 minutes. And none of the others either.
Yeah.
Power grid collapse, terror plot, bombing, COVID.
Right. Could
The
be
U.S.
any of
government
these.
said the Russians.
It could be any of these, right, Mr. Jones?
The U.S. government said the Russians staged a false flag to start the Ukraine war, and I believe it.
Right, Your Honor.
Yeah, they're real.
So, Mr. Jones, whenever the next mass shooting strikes, we can be pretty sure what you're going to do, right?
Objection, speculative.
Yes or no?
I didn't write that poll, but I stand behind it. I've never seen that poll, but I think that's a reasonable question.
I'm done, Your Honor.
I'm done, Your
Right,
Honor.
So we are going to end here for the day. Ron will collect your notepads. I know you're tired of hearing me say it, but it is just so important that you continue to make all reasonable efforts to make sure that you avoid any and all media coverage of this trial or anything.
Oh, that's going to happen.
Or anyone that is in any way, shape, or form related to it. Please be careful when you leave the courthouse to avoid anyone involved in the trial or any of the media. We will start again tomorrow at 10, so you'll be here around 9:45.
Okay, 9 a.m. tomorrow.
If there are
I'm not really interested in watching the rest of what she has to say. Here we go. We'll get back to this. So there you go. There you go. That was the end of questioning today. Alex Jones's attorney will cross-examine him tomorrow. So Alex Jones was called during the plaintiff's attorney's case in chief. They get to treat him as a hostile witness, obviously, because he's hostile. He's the opposing party. They get to ask him leading questions, which you would normally not be able to do. However, his attorney now gets him on cross, which means his attorney should get to ask him leading questions as well. That's the risk of calling him during your case in chief, is that that you may be setting him up for an easier examination from his own attorney. So that'll be really fucking interesting. We're going to see that tomorrow. Drama after the jury leaves. Oh, okay. Well, let's finish it out, I guess. Sorry. I didn't realize there was more.
are any issues, which I hope there are not, will follow that very important and specific procedure I told you about with respect to the notes. So hopefully we'll have some better weather tomorrow. Everyone has safe travels home, and we will let the jury go, and I will speak with counsel.
Judge, are you adjourned or are you staying?
No, I'm on the record. You can say it. I can do it, you want to do it in a sidebar, or would you like to do it right here?
Right here is fine.
Okay. How are we going to avoid this problem tomorrow?
You're not.
Because I assume your client wants to.
I'm not sure the problem is mine. I raised an objection and my adversary didn't stop for a ruling. He kept going, and I believe on this.
All right, so Attorney Pattis, the record will reflect that your client just kept giving answers.
Oh, the record will reflect the client kept giving answers, not that the attorney kept asking questions without a ruling from you, you bitch.
Then you could get your objection out pretty much. It is literally impossible to rule when the question is being answered before you even got your
Bullshit.
objection out. There's
Judges rule on questions that are being answered constantly. Constantly.
there's only so many times I can tell someone, don't answer a question when your attorney objects.
Nope.
But
The answer to how many times can you tell a witness to not answer a question when the attorney objects is always one more. That's the answer. Or hold them in contempt. One of those two.
what I'm not going to have is what we just saw. So I don't know, I leave it in your capable hands to figure out a way.
Oh, it's his
that we don't
job to
have
control your courtroom.
Outbursts
When
tomorrow.
I'm objecting argumentative, and my client is baited and you're responding, I believe it's the court's responsibility, counsel's responsibility to get moving on the objective.
How do and how do I do that when I can't even hear you because your client is giving his answer through your objection? It is impossible. I cannot
I've asked you to
possibly.
stop him from speaking then so that I can be heard. I think the last 4 or 5 questions were argumentative, and I'll probably.
You want me to stop your client from
Yes.
speaking?
When there is an argument going on between he and counsel and I'm objecting and argumentative answers, yes.
Yeah. What the
Physically,
fuck?
you want
Every
me to
judge does
stop him
this.
from speaking? I'm not,
You have the means to
I'm
do
trying
that.
to be as polite as possible.
Every judge
And
does
I've
this.
told him the record will affect how many times I've told him, and he tells me he understands.
My record is clear, Judge. When counsel here are the professionals. I've made argumentative objections and my adversary continued to raise his pitch tone, made appeals to the gallery, to the public, perhaps to the press, back turned to my client, screaming. That's inappropriate in any courtroom. I don't care if my client's up there baking cookies. I think it's the court's responsibility to stop that, and that's what I was asking.
Yes, it is.
I don't know.
Okay, so how about we do this tomorrow then? So I will have a zero tolerance policy from now on with counsel.
Okay.
So you can expect a contempt hearing if anybody steps out of line. And Mr. Jones, same thing. So, sir, you got to do a better job of following the court.
What a fucking setup that is. Oh, well, tomorrow while you're going, if anyone does anything, which will be you, by the way, contempt hearing. What a cunt. Holy shit.
Rules, all right, with respect to your responses. I do not want to have a contempt hearing. I do not.
Yes,
I'm
you
gonna say it
do.
again.
You want nothing more than to be the judge in the headline that holds Alex Jones in contempt, you
So
liar.
please talk to your attorney, and tomorrow will be another day, right? Anything else at this point?
Nothing to the defense, Judge.
No, you're right.
We're adjourned.
Holy shit. Wow. Wow. Well, tomorrow I'm going to have, I didn't have a zero tolerance policy today. In fact, I had a maximum tolerance today. Today I was sitting on a bad dragon, but tomorrow if I fart wrong, you're going to get a fucking contempt hearing. Fuck you. You want to see the raw part of the justice system? See it right here. This is what happens. Now, I know this is Alex Jones. It's a special case. He's very offensive and rude and evil and a monster. But I'll tell you what. This shit happens in criminal court every day. Like civil court, but in criminal court, judges have predetermined these people to be criminals. Some of them are. They're repeat offenders or whatever. They're back for their third thing. This shit happens in criminal court constantly. All the time. All the fucking time. This is what we get. And people wonder why like defense attorneys are cynical of the system, why the whole like law and order gavel pounding from congressmen running for office all kind of falls hollow on attorney ears. It's this shit, because this shit happens every fucking day. Every day. And subpar genitalia says, isn't it her fucking job to, I don't know, handle her fucking courtroom? Well, subpar, why don't you tell me? It sounds like you've had, based on your tweet, it sounds like you had a little bit of experience in the legal system. It doesn't take much, guys. Go watch a day of court. Any court, and you will see a better run courtroom than this one. You will see judges stop witnesses when they talk too much. Of course, you'll see judges stop counsel constantly. They'll say, hey, knock it off. This is my courtroom. Hey, what's up to the people who are here from the Jack Show? Welcome. Welcome. Thank you, by the way, to the Jack Show audience for allowing me to crash your party last week. I hope to do it again in the near future. But welcome here. Welcome here. Imagine it was Borowski. Fucking hell. Yeah. Borowski. You guys great. How's the jury seeing this and not seeing how completely horseshit this court is? Well, maybe they are. Maybe they are. Watch the Parkland judge. The Parkland judge was pissed when the defense rested. So is a political door open now? No, not a chance. That's the subpar genitalia. You gotta DM me your story, bro. You gotta let me know what the hell happened. I saw your tweet and I don't know what the whole thing was. DM me your story, please. The problem is, for the political door to be open, the judge has to rule against her own motion in or her own order on the motion in limine. She can just determine that the door is not open. Now, maybe it's an abuse of discretion, maybe it's bullshit, whatever, but that's what she can do. That's why he was trying to make the record clear on the sidebar. Can I invite Barnes on my show during trial tomorrow? You'll both be fire. Yeah, I'll send an invite to Robert Barnes, of course. I don't know if he'll be able to join or not, but yeah, gladly. Love that guy. Enjoy having him on. Okay. Mandy says Alex needs to say nothing during an objection until it's addressed. I have a small rant about that in just a second. Okay. Get these out. I don't need these right now. A small rant about that related to something I said really early in the show. I'm going to refresh it because we have a whole lot of people here who weren't here before. It says, force this judge to make a ruling each and every time. Just stare at her. Casey says, how many times did the plaintiff's attorney jack off to himself after today? Oh, a ton. All right, here we go. Mandy, the only mild disagreement I have with you is that Alex Jones is Alex Jones. He's not a normal defendant, okay? He's not a normal litigant. Alex Jones has a different obligation than a normal litigant. Alex Jones needs to be performative because Alex Jones has already lost this case. He's going to, the damages phase is all just about how badly he loses, and he's going to lose badly to the infinity. So you preserve the record and go for an appeal, which he'll lose. He'll absolutely lose the appeal. And you pray that there's some mitigation on punitive damages through a statute. But Alex Jones is going to he's going to get a judgment of millions and millions of dollars against him as a result of this case. It's going to happen. There's no way around it. What Alex Jones needs to do is to do exactly what he's doing, to entice out of this judge that this court is kangaroo court, that this attorney is compromised by George Soros and Hillary Clinton, that this is a deep state op, that this is globalism gone run amok, that this is the silencing of free speech, that this is the death of liberty. He needs to do that because the moment, like, the judgment's going to hit him no matter what. So what he has to do is feed red meat to his audience. Social media clients, big ones especially, are a different breed of defendant. And I contend that almost no law firm in the fucking country knows how to deal with people like me, people like Alex Jones, people like Dick Masterson, people like whoever. They give them bad advice constantly because they don't know social media as a business. They don't know social media as a lifestyle, which is what it becomes when you're someone like Alex Jones. They don't know what it means to always be on. Hollywood celebrities aren't always on. They're only on screen. They're clearly an actor. They're clearly a persona. They're clearly playing a character. People on social media, we are somewhat performers, but it's this beautiful blend of performative plus genuine. Like some people are who they are. Me, I'm me. If you meet me in person, I'm pretty much the exact same guy. I don't know if there's some mannerism that I might have that's different. My opinions are the same. The way I talk to you is the same. I was on the phone with my friend for like 2 hours the other day because I was driving around town doing shit. And he had some time. We were just chatting about, catching up on a whole bunch of stuff because I hadn't talked to him, like really talked to him in a long time. He's one of my best friends. And I realized, this is like having my show, how I do an interview. This is the exact same thing. We've got like an hour of just good conversation going back and forth. And I'm listening to myself going, holy fuck. It's the exact same as if he was on the show. It's Heath. Heath's been on the show before. You guys know him. But we were just having a good conversation. Other people aren't like that, and that's okay. That's just how I am because I'm too lazy to like develop some persona and have to try and act. Plus, I drink a lot, and it would be impossible to not be honest all of the time. Guys, do you know how hard it is to keep like any secret when you're pounding booze every night? Especially when those secrets are fucking hilarious. Like, especially when things are like, I get some criticism lately. People are like, oh, Nick's talking about sex too much or whatever. It's like, well, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Having a good time. I want to share it with other people. I want them to have a good time too. I want them to know about fun shit that I've been up to because I want them to go find the fun shit too. That's liquor, right? Like, oh, I'm doing a fun thing. I want other people to participate. Okay, cool. Like that's the spice. That's who I am. Other people are not like that. Other people develop a persona that they put online and they go for it and they have to be in that persona all the time. But my point is, it doesn't matter which one you are. It's not a criticism of other people or like some veneration of me, although I should be venerated. I am the Pope. But the reality is social media is different than every other acting medium in the acting performative medium that there is. Movies, temporary. TV shows, temporary. Plays, temporary. Newscasts, temporary. Stand-up comic, temporary. All of these things are, well, social media, you're always on. You have to always be on. OnlyFans, these bitches aren't porn stars. Way different. Watch an OnlyFans chick get railed in the ass and then watch Riley Reid get railed in the ass. One's performative, the other one's crying. Like that's how it goes. They're completely different fucking things. And law firms they're not prepared for what happens when you have someone who is always, always, always on. Alex Jones is always on. He is always Alex Jones. Whether that's who he is or who he was, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore because you have a different type of client. Now, I think his lawyer's doing very well with this. I do, which is a shock because almost none of them have any idea how to deal with someone who has this platform they have ready access to. There's no real gatekeeper. Like Johnny Depp, he had a huge platform, kind of, but for Johnny Depp to be Johnny Depp, he had to go do a movie, right? Like he had to get Jerry Bruckheimer to agree to produce a movie that Johnny Depp's in so he can be Jack Sparrow. But Alex Jones just goes on his website and bees Alex Jones. Steven Crowder is just Steven Crowder. No matter where he is, no matter what he's doing, he has to be. He has to be. Because if you ran into Steven Crowder and he had like an English accent with sipping tea and said, I love liberalism, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? And he'd be destroyed the moment that video got out. Social media people are a different breed. Law firms aren't ready for it. I don't remember why I started this rant, but it's real. It's true. And I'm so fucking tired of all these fucking gay lawyers who don't get it. They stick by this advice. It's 30, 40, 50 years old. Don't talk. Don't do this. Alex Jones needs to do the opposite of all of the traditional lawyerly advice in a defamation case because his job is not to win a defamation trial. Alex Jones's job is to crush globalists. And that starts when the judgment is over and done. The judgment is a cost of business. I don't know where that started, but I know where it went and I liked it. So pour out an odd bag of bow, more at love right. Spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea, post on Twitter as we hear